Hi, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 76 of the Couch on Ice podcast. How are you boys today?
Super duper.
Super duper. I guess I should start with the news about last podcast. We were supposed to be live showing our beautiful faces like we are today, and the video corrupted. So shit luck for you guys, but hopefully it works this week. So if you can see us,
this one better to make it work.
Corrupt.
yeah, if you can see us this time and it actually worked.
Everywhere.
Top left
everywhere.
here, we got Jordan. Waving there. Top right, we got Chase. And bottom, the king. No, I'm just kidding. The least knowledgeable person on this podcast. The one that gets everyone together to talk about random shit all day. So, random shit it is about hockey. Shall we dive in?
Mm-hmm.
I will throw it over to you, Jordan. And you got some beautiful teams you want to talk about. How about those red hot Oilers? Talk about them.
All right, to kick it off with the Oilers, it was not a good game against Minnesota. I got a really cool stat for you. It was a bad day in net entirely for the organization. There was 7 goals on 22 shots in the game in Minnesota, or against Minnesota, sorry, versus Smith and Koskinen. While against the Stockton Heat in the AHL, they let 7 goals on 22 shots. Daylock and Skinner did.
Damn,
oh, boy.
Fucking not a good day for the organization.
Oof, that's rough. That is so
definitely,
rough.
Not a good goalie performance there.
No options every direction.
Yep.
Sounds like
that's ugly, man. My God.
That was the Oilers for you.
Ooh, boy.
I'm excited to talk about Vancouver. The Vancouver-Seattle game was special. This is a memorable game for me. There was a moment where 6 players are like huddled on the boards fighting for the puck. Yeah. Meanwhile, 2 Vancouver players slip out with the actual puck and go on a 2-on-2.
Yeah, that was insane. Like, I watched that clip 3 times over and I thought it was overtime the whole time. And then I was like, oh shit, it's actually 5-on-5. And they had more time than you do in practice on that 2-on-2 than I've ever seen in a game. So the only thing worse was probably when Vancouver gave away that 3-on-0 like 2 years ago or something. Or got the 3-on-0. I can't remember if they got it or gave it away in like 10
Mark
seconds.
Giordano scored a really nice shorthanded goal, so that was good for Seattle.
Yeah, nice first and final goal for his team as captain. As he's traded in a month.
Tyler Myers was awful.
I know. Like, I'll get it later. But because I got a serious question for you boys about Myers later. But
mine was like,
sorry, say that. Who is good again? You cut out.
Oh no!
Oh no, we're losing Jordan. We're losing guys.
He's stuck.
Jordan's good frozen here for a second. Oh, there we go. He's back. So there we go.
I was saying that 4th line there for the Canucks was stupidly good. Like
that Lemico. That Lemico. He's awesome, man.
Who else on that mod? And who else on that?
He's progressing quite well.
I can't remember right now. Fuck.
I can find out. I can find out right now.
But yeah, anyway, my highlight player for that game, Vasily Podkolzin. He looked really, really good out there. He dominated fucking Seattle.
Yeah. I haven't even seen the highlight. I should probably watch that. Yeah, I did completely miss that whole game.
We got that 4th line. That Tyler Mott, that Lemico, and that Highmore.
Oh, they got Mott down there. Nice.
Mott, Lemico, Highmore. That's pretty decent 4th line.
Yeah, that 4th line has been putting in work.
Lemico's right-handed, right?
No, I think he's left.
Is he left?
Just like every other flipping.
I was about to say, is that why the 4th line did so good? Because they finally got a righty on there?
Yeah, no, because that's like the big problem.
Yeah, nobody that can take a right-handed draw. That's where I was confused, because Lemico is one of the new names, so I was like, is he right-handed?
Yeah.
Is that like a gem for Van in the mix? But yeah. Got anything else for us, Jordan, on that game?
No, those were the games for me.
Those are the games for you? Cool.
Yeah, like Edmonton, that was like their 5th game in 7 days, so.
And they won all of them or something? Or except for that one? They were doing really good, though.
For that wild
they were doing good, and then that game was just classic Edmonton.
What were they, 4-0, 3-0?
5-0. First 5 games.
Wow.
with Woodcroft. Yeah,
I've been focusing so much more on the Habs than the Oilers this week than I have.
Oh yeah, getting your deck card on the Habs.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Bring up the Habs. Did you see the jerseys for the Black History Month that they brought out?
No, I didn't actually.
I think so.
Look at them. They are absolutely to die for.
Okay, well,
the Habs.
The Habs. I would pay a lot of money for their Black History Month jerseys that they brought out.
Ooh, wow. With the actual gold in them and diamonds.
Not quite that Black History.
Just the all black jersey there with the green in the middle of the Habs.
The yellow, the red, and the green.
Yeah, that's not bad. It looks like a Hawks jersey, but with a Montreal logo. Looks like a Blackhawks jersey.
It's really clean.
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, those look pretty nice on. Yeah, all those guys.
I love all black jerseys. I love all black jerseys. I think they're so slick. But while we're on this theme, let's talk about two new jerseys that were unveiled into the NHL for the Heritage Classic between the Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres. Let's talk about that Leafs, that big T-arenas. The Terinas.
I don't like it at all. I think it was
the Bell Terinas.
Somebody was like, all right, how old can we make this look?
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, how little can we do in order to make that happen?
Yeah. I absolutely hated the faded out arenas in the behind it. If they left it just a big T and left it super boring, I think I would have preferred it.
Yeah, like super classic.
Well, that's the jersey. What it is.
Yeah.
That was the old jersey.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I get it. They're pulling back from the past and super cool. I love it. But honestly, we want to see nice jerseys. We don't care about history. There might be five logos or jerseys in the past that we can say these are like some of the best that we need to remember and keep bringing them back. There isn't 32. Let's be honest. Every year there isn't 32. So
yeah, certainly.
I'm fine with it, but how about we slide over to the other team's jersey, that Buffalo Sabres, the all white. I liked it a lot.
They really
that was really sleek.
They really just don't want to get into that black and red like ever again.
No,
they
don't. I wanted that, obviously. Like that is the best Buffalo jersey of all time. That red and black. Yeah.
They're gonna wait until they're good and people are actually watching, and they're gonna fucking switch back.
Definitely.
Gonna go nuts.
The second Owen Power gets like the C or something like that and starts taking over. Yeah, absolutely. But I like the Buffalo one. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I did.
I mean, comparably, it was a lot nicer than Toronto one. I think that's probably why. At first, when I first looked at it, though, I do have to say, this is also the problem with getting old jerseys and basically just recreating them, but basically not. I thought it was an old jersey. I was like, did someone just pull this up from like a couple years ago of Buffalo? Because it was exactly like one of their old jerseys, pretty much. It looked very similar.
A normal jersey.
Yeah, so I really wasn't. I was a little thrown the first time I saw it. I thought someone was just trying to fuck with people on Twitter, but no, it was the actual jersey. So, but it's pretty nice. So, all in all, I can't complain. I think that's good for the jersey talk. Let's move into some games. I got a fair bit, but they're quick, so I'll rip through them fast. We got Toronto, Pittsburgh. This was a slow week for Pittsburgh. Let's just start with that. Matthews scoring 20 seconds in. He's fantastic. Morgan Riley going end to end on the power play. That was embarrassing. Jari was absolutely fantastic again. More and more.
That's the story with Jari this season.
Oh, he's so good. He
has been probably my bounce back player of the year.
Oh, absolutely. And I heard a interesting story about him and Ron Hextall in the offseason, which it's very small, but I loved it because I'm a Pens fan. During the offseason, Hextall and Berkey were talking, and they're like, what do we do with our goalie? Do we need to upgrade our goalie? We lost the series because of that. And they both agreed that, no, we think Jari could be a number one goalie. We're going to obviously give him our chance. They called him in his office, and Hextall told him, he's like, this is your net still. Like, we're not replacing you. We're not getting anyone new. Like, this is your net. Prove it to us again next year. We believe in you. We know you can do it. You did it last year regular season, and he's been doing it. So it's just nice to have the team fully support him and him.
Oh, I thought as a Pens fan, I thought you would have knew that. Jeez, I remember reading about that. So
I actually didn't hear about that.
Diehard Pens fan.
I didn't hear about that. Funny enough. No,
I just imagine that gives you a lot of confidence as
yeah,
a player.
it's just
because they were talking about getting an actual backup goalie, like spending some money on it. That was the
Mhm.
conversation,
Right?
and
I
they were
remember
just
Florida
like,
back to Pittsburgh were massive.
yeah, exactly. So I just want to throw that out there how great Jari's been. But the funniest thing about this game, Matthew breaking his face chasing Crosby.
yeah, right.
This was so funny. Like, I'm not saying this to
Holy
like
shit.
get a jab at Matthews. Matthews was the better centerman.
Dude, you
game.
gotta play the clip that he what he said.
I don't know if I can show it, but his Twitter one. Yeah. Okay, play it.
I think I liked it. I think
Okay,
I liked it on
what
on
he said
Twitter.
to Mark Masters. Sorry.
Oh, to the reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was absolutely brilliant.
Holy fuck! I almost died. Yeah, he was like, yeah,
I'm pretty sure I can find it too. But I just laughed so hard because he was so focused on Crosby that he just ran right into the post. I've never seen like a depth player really do that before, let alone like one of the best in the game. So I just thought it was super funny. I'll see if I can quickly get it here.
Yeah, it's on like it's if you go to our Twitter, it's on our likes.
It's on our Twitter.
Scroll down a little bit.
Sounds good.
But yeah, he was just hilariously focused. Like, you could tell he was just like I've kind of done the same thing where I've hit my shoulder or something like that. But like, was he? That's good defense.
It's so good. I laughed so hard at just how well Crosby could evade them.
That's the best. I love shit like that.
Like hockey smile now.
I literally live for just random stupid shit like that to happen. Like, it sucks that somebody gets hurt out of the scenario, but like it was great when we
very
just, as people just run into things sometimes.
Yeah, it was really good game. I can't find it right now for the life of me, so I'm just gonna move on. He basically just back to go search it up on Twitter, just the Matthews interview. It's him and Mark Masters
was, like, yabbing him like, oh, why were you so focused on Crosby, and
he's like,
at the end he gave some like saucy fucking
very smart ass. I thought it'd be a very good idea just to smash my teeth into the post. I thought that'd be a great plan.
And he's like, great question.
Yeah, he's like, great question. That's a great. Yeah, it was really funny.
It was just really funny.
It was a good time. But I think we move off of this game, move on to the other Penguins game, which was slightly better. Not much, but Jarry Marino had a great game. They were everywhere. Well, Marino was everywhere. Jarry, he's had a really great season. I'm so impressed with him. He's obviously still growing, so there's going to be games where he's pretty rough, but obviously he's so good. For
the most part, right? You're not ever watching him like, oh no.
If Letang has a bad night, we need Marino, or else we're fucked. Like, he is our saving grace if Letang or Dumoulin has an off night. So yeah, absolutely, he's great. The top line continued to score for Pittsburgh, though. Like, Crosby scoring a goal, Rust had his 18th, Crosby 15th.
Yeah, Rust has been so good too.
Lots, yeah. They played pretty decent against Carolina, but holy shit, this Carolina team is unreal. Like, I know I watched them against Florida, but like watching them against your own team is kind of like you realize it more because you're more invested and realize if you make a mistake, it hurts more. But no, they're so good, man. If we had an amazing second period, but we lost to ourselves. The opening 2 games in a row where we let in 3 goals in the first 20 seconds of a period. That's unacceptable in 6 periods, frankly. And I'm okay that we lost because of that. You can't let them get breakaways like Matthews. You can't let them get chances like that. Really disappointing. And then I'll throw out a player in Carolina, Kotkaniemi, getting his career high with 33 fewer games than before. That's awesome. Ingles, sorry. Just
10 or
doing all right there for a third liner. It's really nice shot.
Definitely on a bit more of an offensive team.
Absolutely. Gonna start zooming through a couple more. We got the Montreal St. Louis. This game was really good. I think Husso was in net this game. He played pretty good. I think he had like 25 saves-ish, 30 saves. Caulfield, though, being the main storyline. 2 goals and thriving under St. Louis. I love this offense right now, Montreal. I'm going to dive deeper in a second, but I'm just so impressed. Moving on.
I have an interesting St. Louis stat.
All right, give it.
So, Martin St. Louis is the first to win as a player, first career NHL point, first win as a coach, were all against St. Louis, or against St. Louis, sorry.
Oh, really? That's cool.
His first win as a player, his
St.
first
Louis,
career NHL
St.
point,
Louis.
his first win as a coach for Martin St. Louis were all against St. Louis.
That's so cool. That is so cool.
So that's pretty
Trivia.
That's awesome. Yeah, no,
that's a
it was a really good game though, and like I said, that Suzuki, Caulfield, and Anderson line is just started to click there and continued on and on. Moving on, we got the St. Louis Toronto. Just St. Louis beating on the Leafs 6-3. Leafs need help on the back end, and they thought so this game too, as they made a trade right after it. So it just shows how bad they were. But Ville Husso was sensational this game. Sensational. I've heard Toronto fans talk a lot about getting goalied this year, but there are 3 goalies that are haunting them, and Husso's one of them. So what a great game. But this was definitely shown that if this was a playoff series, St. Louis is going to run this team over. And like I said, with the size, this trade that happened, which we're obviously going to dive deep into after this, was so necessary.
Yeah.
Like, they got bullied so bad.
Oh yeah, just so much needed out of that trade. Yeah, big groundbreaking trade. Gonna change the Leafs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. I mean, it helps.
The best part of the trade was the player they lost and not what they gained.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They just saved like $1 million is all they did.
Yeah.
Like,
we'll get into that after these quick rips. But I just got one more quick rip, and then I can throw it over to you, Chase, and you can give yours. I got the Montreal Islanders game. And what made this game so important for the Montreal Canadiens is Caulfield is still hot, and this is their second win streak. Sorry, 2-game win streak. This is their first 2-game win streak of the season.
What?
Was this game? Yes. They had never won 2 games in a row until the Islanders game the other day. That is how bad of a season they're having.
Yeah. Hey.
So that shows why I'm so high on them this week, because they won 3 games in a row, which I'll talk to about the third one in a bit. But yeah, just Caulfield scored in the shootout, and the big story is Hammond. Hamburglar coming back after 4 years. And I have his stats from 2016. Do you guys remember how good this guy was? He was 21-2-1 at a point in the NHL in 2016. So
yeah, that sick run at the end. It was amazing. It was the greatest.
I love the Hamburglar, and him and Curtis Lazar eating cheeseburgers on the ice after wins and stuff. It's so good in Ottawa. Favorite. It's my favorite. If you haven't seen Curtis Lazar in Ottawa, just Google that, and he never not smiles. He's just I love Curtis Lazar. But yeah, those are my quick rip games. And Montreal just killing it. But I'll throw it over to you, Chase. What do you got for quick rips?
Sweet up. Well, a little quick rip. So I saw in like one of the games a few days ago, it's probably a little bit different now, but the top 4 teams scoring the most goals in the first period is Florida. Calgary, Toronto, and Colorado. Hey, so that's pretty cool to see, because I've been just noticing this, how much of a force Colorado is, like the start of the game or something. Like it's just absolutely intense. And that was the case when Ticker was getting the start for the Sabres against the old Avs there, where Colorado once again proves they like scoring in that first period, racking up 3 goals. First goal, it was I think 5-hole was the last thing on old Dustin's mind there. It kind of faked him out there, and I think he was thinking anything other than that. But yeah, Ticker faked himself out there on that one. The second goal, Comfer was pushing Bryson out of the way. Just actually some really nice play to get around the D-man, and nice little English on a backhand, and it rolled off Tagarski's shoulder and kind of got screwed on that and rolled in. Bumbling. This is just ridiculous. That third goal was Cousins he gets the puck, and then he like fumbles it, loses it accidentally. Like the guy grabs the puck, goes to pass it over, he goes to poke that, and he pokes it perfectly right onto Kadri's stick, and Kadri snipes it in. It was just like Cousins like, God.
Couldn't get a good stick check in.
Yeah, just no break there. But that was. But hey, first period wasn't all Colorado. Tage Thompson just
Yeah.
wow, starts his dominance, like just 2 goals in that first period, both assisted by Skinner.
Yeah.
To end that first period 3-2. So yeah, first period was just wild.
Tage Thompson note too. I was gonna bring up the Columbus Buffalo game, but I didn't. But in that game, he hit 20 goals on the season. That's unbelievable. 20 goals already for Tage Thompson. So I just want to throw that there.
I think he must have got another goal later or something because it was technically 19.
No, in the Columbus game later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what
I was gonna talk about.
Like,
the
it must have
Columbus.
happened later because
No, it was the next.
19.
It was the next game against Columbus where he lost 7-3, and Berube got his.
Yeah,
first
man. Old
win,
Tommy Guns gets the hat trick in this game. That was his 19th on the year, so obviously got 20 in Columbus, like you said.
Yep.
The only goal of that period, as like the Sabres game actually like sharpened up, and it was like good hockey. It was pretty cool. But yeah, missed penalty on Dolly, and it was basically the game in the third period. He gets taken down in his own end, and then no coverage on Newhook, just flanking down the side, being the last guy in, and gets the pass. That's all she wrote. That is all she wrote. And then they potted an empty netter. So a good game, 5-3 for the Avs, but old Ticker couldn't get. Oh, they played way better in that game than they did against the next game. They played like Columbus and they lost like 7-4 or something like that. Like they just didn't even show up to that game or something. Like
since you brought up that game, I have just some stuff. Berube got his first win in net since 2018, which was super cool. Gaunt's
expansion pick.
Yeah.
Vegas expansion pick.
We got, I think it's Brendan Gauntz. I might be completely wrong on
Yeah. He was playing. Yeah.
He was playing. He looks so good. He is leading the Cleveland Monsters, whatever they're called. Lake Monsters in goals in the AHL.
He's been like one of the best AHL players for like a super long time.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is with some of those guys. They're just like, yeah, no, we don't have a spot for you in our top 6.
Yeah, and he's got 4 points in 6 games this year with Columbus, so just awesome. Nice. I really liked him in this game, and funny enough, I think he fits better as a Columbus Blue Jacket than anything. But sorry,
some guys need a little bit of a change, but yeah, I'll kick it to my next one. Kyle Connor showing some beast mode in the third period to help the Jets beat the Kraken 5-3 on Thursday. You just had an unreal, excellent third period to help them win. It was basically why they won because he came out and just dominated.
I've been so his progression.
Yeah, his consistency is insane because like everybody else you can tell isn't consistent because he is.
Winnipeg are so inconsistent, but he is consistently out there performing night in and night.
Literally, you can rely on that guy. It's so awesome. But that was all the jam that was left as they lose to the Oilers and then to the Flames. The Jets have officially cooled, you could say. Trade deadline impending. Looking for the statement of where management wants to go with this fucking
bye Cop.
Questionable whatever's going on here. Like that's the thing. Like, do you keep him and just
if you can re-sign him, obviously
Stasny or something like that, and then try to do something massive on defense? But
if you can keep Cop, then you do. But if you can't, then you trade him, obviously, right? Like that's just he's so
like after
such
the
a
year
good middle 6 player.
He could ask them for $4 million, and that wouldn't be.
I think you could ask them for $5 million, and that'd be fair.
That's what I mean, right? Like
it's hard to. He hasn't had like too much of an amazing year though. Like,
he also got that's fair, but he's also can play center. He's a very talented third line player if needed, and a good second line center in a pinch. I think he's one of the better Swiss Army knives out there in the NHL. Personally.
Yeah, like I think
he's definitely
when it comes down to it, if they're selling in any sort of fashion, I'm pretty sure people will offer out the wazoo. To get Cop because he's just like a Swiss Army knife for your middle 6. There's so many teams that would
if Armia can get $4 million, then Cop can get $4 million. Absolutely. around that
Ooh,
at least.
I
So
thought. Oh, I think. Oh, I hope Armia didn't get 4. I thought it was 3, but it was 4 years or something dumb.
yeah,
So
okay, well, still,
either
if it's
way,
like
it was a
3.2,
lot.
that's still a lot of money.
It looks like a lot right now with him in
Yeah,
like
and
under 5 points or something. I think.
Cop
Armia.
scores more goals, so
Yeah, Cop's fucking nasty.
He's nasty,
So
yeah.
yeah, looking for the trade deadline for these guys, see what direction they're gonna go. Well, honestly, what the GM says, like that's really I'm waiting to see what Chevy's
I don't think
gonna
he
do.
knows. I genuinely don't
Yeah,
think
no
he,
doubt.
I don't know. Like I'm
Um,
sitting here, like
That's why
we're
I'm
sitting
saying,
here
like,
watching them and
waiting for this because
we're supposed to be determining what's wrong with this team, and
oh, it's defense, man. I can
obviously
go
it's
deep into
defense,
that later.
but I meant direction
So yeah,
wise.
I'll
But
move on to the Wings squeezing one out on the Rangers. Oh yeah, Pius Suter ends it in the shootout. Troy Stetcher surpasses
Stroy.
Dan. Yeah, Stroy.
Stroy
Stetcher.
Stroy.
He surpasses Danny DeKaiser with his first goal on the year, playing alongside my boy Mark Stahl, because they're just peanut butter and jam, buddy.
Did you see the picture of Tom Holland Zendaya at the game and Mark Stahl just smiling at the camera?
Yeah, I did.
I love that. I was like, holy shit! I never thought I'd see Mark Stahl with Zendaya in a picture.
Yeah, especially at this
Mark
point.
Stahl, first game back at MSG. Hey,
Oh yeah,
in like 2 years.
That's insane.
Yeah, it'd be
man.
year and a half or something.
COVID like fucked so much of like great
pretty trippy.
matchups. Like, oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah, the Rangers continue their power play dominance, ranking 3rd in the NHL, getting the tying goal against the Wings and the game-winning goal against the Senators, making their power play 2 for 3 in those 2 games.
Wow.
Strange enough. Strange though that they have 5 goals in the last 3 games. That's kind of weird.
Interesting.
Kind of look like they're lost their scoring touch the last little bit, but gotta suck sometimes, right?
Yeah,
Jesus
oh,
Christ.
yeah.
I'll hit
Can't
it up.
always
know it.
Hit up to the Kraken, your boy Callie with 5 points in his last 5 games.
Wow.
Looking to get the Kraken as much as he can at the deadline. What a
What
the
a
team
nice
player
lad.
right there.
And what a team player, just really wants to go back to Nashville and
really
want
want
a contender again.
It's either he wants the Kraken to get more for him, or the Kraken went to him and said, "Hey, we're not going to get anything for you.
We're not even going to trade you because you're not
We're
worth
not
the
He's like,
time.
all right, gotta get my stock up to a 7.
You're not worth the minutes on my
Gotta get
phone to call the other GMs, so
Gotta get
you
my
better play
stock up
better.
to a 3rd round pick here, boys.
My BlackBerry's almost dead. You better play better so it charges.
My Pearl's almost dead.
My BlackBerry Pearl's almost dead.
And then I will go into, well, welcome to Stun Day, when the Coyotes steal one from the Stars, 3-1 on Sunday. Wow, that was pretty odd. Like, I guess kind of not weird. Dallas beat Colorado. They beat Colorado at home, like, and in Colorado's home, which was pretty amazing. And then they beat Chicago just so off of an Ottinger shutout. That was a road game, so a couple road games for Dallas. But yeah, they obviously should have won this game, but I guess there's some sort of saving grace that they beat the best team and then lost to the worst team. But on point, on demand, every game, Jason Robertson, other than that one shot in the 3rd period, misses the open cage for one of like the 89 chances they had in the 3rd period, because they were like, we need to score now, really need to score now.
Game's almost done. They're not winning.
And let's be serious about Arizona. How many times have teams come out in a period and been like, we need to score? And like, they deal with this all the time, like, go ahead, bring all the shots and stuff, like, well, we're either going to let one in or we're not, so they got somewhat lucky in a sense, and Dallas should have tied it up. It should have went to overtime, but they just couldn't quite put her in.
That's
love
a
seeing the
haunting
Yotes
loss,
win, man.
Yeah, that's a haunting loss for Dallas. That could follow them to the end of the year, honestly. Like, those are just games.
Fuck, they beat Colorado, dog. They just beat Colorado.
Doesn't matter.
Nobody's won.
Doesn't matter. You played that bad of a team, and you're in a playoff hunt. you cannot lose that game when you have opportunities, like you said. To me, that's if they're playing pretty much any other team that isn't in like the bottom 3, I probably say okay, yeah, whatever. But like, this is tight, man. There's 6 teams that might miss in the West, so
technically they did exactly what I thought they would
Yep.
do, except they lost to this team and won to
yeah,
Colorado.
absolutely.
So,
They
the wrong team.
to me, I don't give a shit what's going on. That ended their 6-game away streak thing. So, or 6 games in a row they won on the road. So
yeah,
that was the end of that. But I got feel ya. It's not
it's
not
just
fun to lose to the worst team, but
you just can't
Colorado's
let those
lost to the
slip.
worst team.
You can't let those slip all the time when you're.
And you gotta give it. And you gotta
I do
give it up,
agree.
boys. Hey,
Yeah.
let's get into the Coyotes because they fucking played a real good game.
Oh
there,
yeah,
boys.
yeah. I'm not.
Love seeing the Coyotes win, especially when it's Schmaltzy getting like 3 points. Man, it's fucking beautiful. Love that guy, including the game winner. 33 saves out of the Wood. Motherfucking Scott Wedgwood, 4th in save percentage this calendar year.
Nice.
For 2022.
That's awesome.
Really good,
with games played at least 5.
Yeah.
So
especially considering we're almost like 2 full months in, that's really good.
Yeah, it's good.
934 save percentage is what he's got in those 5 games this year. And just to give you a little pump on who else is up in that area, Swayman, 940, Husso a 942, and Shesterkin a 949.
Yeah, he's
949.
Just man. Like, there's 3 goalies right now that I bounce between every hour. It's Markstrom, Jari, and Shesterkin for me for the Vezina.
Yep.
Like, I don't see any other names like
Yeah.
consistent this long. Like, Campbell was great, but he dropped off too much to be in this race. Vasilevsky's too good to be in this race because we know he's the best. We should just make a separate award, like best at your position, just so you're not sad. Like, so fans aren't sad. Like, obviously Vasilevsky's best goalie. Obviously best all-around players like Crosby or Bergeron. Like, it's but no, it's great year. Great year.
The names I mentioned too are in the top 3 in goals against average: Shesterkin, Husso, and Swayman. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Just unreal that Husso's got a 168.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's really good, man. He's so good, that Husso.
He has been.
I actually.
That's just this calendar year.
Yeah, I worry. Yeah, obvious. Yeah, absolutely. But I worry about St. Louis's this off season. Like, yeah, like
Benner's got to get his head out of his ass here, so they don't have to. Like, there's a lot of season left, so he's got some time to get his head out of his ass.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We'll see, but
I'm not like super worried about Binnington. It's just like, this is a tough decision to make because I don't know who to pick either. Like, I like both.
Yeah,
I think both can do it. Exactly. Benner's actually done it, and Husso's the future that he's looked at for a couple years. So.
And he's got more
I love that Husso just blew up, man.
Yeah, I know he was bad last year.
Nice.
Too. I was ripping him last year.
About him. You're just like, man, he's got terrible numbers. I'm like, dude, that's what goaltending's all about.
Yeah,
ready.
That's the problem with goaltending, though.
You gotta trust him.
You can put all your bets on one guy, and he can not even make to NHL. Like, I thought Jack Campbell was gonna be so good when I watched him growing up, and then he made it until he didn't make till he was 29. Like, goalies are weird, man.
No,
goalies are weird.
That was pretty crazy. To add on to that, goalies being weird this year, I'll give you a couple guys that are also in the top 10. So Wedgwood's number 11 in goals against average, but there's Anton Forsberg, Cal Peterson, Varlamov, Vanacek. Like, these guys.
Those are a lot of guys that were struggling.
So that's
before the new
year. And the goals against average is a 2.27 to a 2.21. So like Vanacek's hitting like a 2.21, and like Forsberg and Wedgwood are like a 2.27. So just like
while we're on that,
those guys.
Jordan, you feeling any better about your goaltending?
No.
Okay.
Pretty much where I was before.
Okay.
So do you want
inconsistent? It's a problem.
Yeah. That's
fair.
Vanacek
for Holtby, is that a thought?
Oh, I've heard that a lot. I don't know, man.
That's tough.
I don't think I could pick that because for my bias,
what if you
let's bring the Holtby's back and get him another cup.
That'd be like
shed money. What if it helps you shed money and you can trade that possibly for somebody? And
if you can throw Hagelin in, absolutely.
I got
Absolutely,
a
I
fat
do
and
that.
sweet 3-way trade, boys, that I can bring up
Yeah,
at some
yeah,
point.
absolutely. You're gonna bring it
If we
up.
talk Eglin into
The
that, then
fucking mint.
Because you have Samsonov still,
Mint.
you do that. If you have two young goalies, it's not like you have one young and one older, and you're like, Binnington or Husso, Binnington. And no, it's
Yeah.
oh,
They're
young.
both-
Yeah.
Who do we go?
That's it.
This unproven guy or this other unproven guy as a starting goalie,
Yeah.
right? So you're pretty much
Yeah, we
safe.
know a lot more about Vanasek being at his age than you do about Samsonov. But I will
Yeah.
get into my next shit here, boys. I'm gonna
Is this
bring
your
up
last quick rip? Because we're extending. Okay, cool. We'll
Actually.
get into our in-depth. Perfect.
So Claude Giroux since Thursday, 74% face-off percentage in 39 face-offs.
Holy shit.
Oh
Winning
my
all
god.
six shorthanded. All
That
six
is
shorthanded. He won.
I would
insane.
not want to go match up against him on the draw.
He's always been good at face-offs, though. What's his? Do you
Yeah.
know his career by any chance, Chase? His career
No, I
face-off.
don't know his-
Okay, I'll see if I can find that. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
no,
impressive.
he's been obviously filling in for Couturier being hurt and having no Kevin Hayes, so he's been playing a lot of center this year. And holy boy, oh boy, he's clicking that dot like no one's business. Somebody else who also ripped it up in the last few days here, Chandler Stevenson had an 80% face-off percentage in 15. It was only 15 face-offs, but like, so still, you're winning 80% of them. That's a nice week there.
I got
Um,
Giroux's.
He gave Eichel.
What's that?
Did you see the assist Chandler Stevenson gave Eichel?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was a beauty. The
That
one
was so
right in front
nice.
of the net.
Yeah,
That was a
spin.
really nice one.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I just
that
have
was a nice play.
Giroux here. He is. If this is correct, it says he's third in all time, but I don't think that's right. But he has a 53.6 face-off percentage in his whole career, out of 1,000 face-offs taken. So
Wow.
he has won 566 face-offs in his career, out of
That's
1,051. So very good on the dot throughout his whole career. And keep in mind how low that percentage could have been in his first couple of years as a center.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, exactly.
he's probably around a 56 to 58% consistently when he was a center in his prime.
I
which is
wonder if Byfield will be one of these guys because he had a 61.9 face-off percentage and 21 face-offs in the last 4 days here.
awesome.
So
Nice.
rolling
That's
a 50
awesome.
face-off percentage this year through
Yeah.
10 games. So
That's
and
good for
yeah,
him.
in 17 D zone face-offs, he has an 88 face-off percentage.
Byfield?
D zone face-offs.
Or-
Byfield has an 88 face-off. Like,
He's
buddy,
Yeah.
if this is any little nick of who this guy's gonna be, holy shit!
Man,
Wow.
this guy,
That's not
if
good
this guy
for
doesn't
anybody else
prove that
playing against
he's
him.
like the next Kopitar, Tavares type player, like I don't know who else does.
Mhm.
He
I was
doesn't look
looking-
as talented as he is, but he is.
I was looking at like getting those guys another centerman, like a third line centerman, somebody who could get on the draws and stuff like that, like veteran sort of thing. Because
Right.
in all reality, they have great fourth line centermen, but like you could probably beef up your third line. Like the ways
Philip Deneau.
after seeing those stats,
Yeah.
like like what do you?
Philip
Yeah,
Deneau can be your
Byfield's fine.
long-time third seed.
Byfield's
Byfield
fine,
can be
you
your
know?
second, and Kopitar can be your one. Like,
Yeah, like technically they have it set up as Byfield as your third with Brown
yeah,
and
I'm talking
somebody, but
long-term.
yeah, no,
obviously.
no, like right now for like this sort of playoff run-ish, like
Yeah,
man,
I'm game.
yeah, I don't even know if you need to. I think you just get a
No,
winger.
I
Like,
think you
he's-
play Byfield at center.
I might have to
'cause
watch
he's
Byfield
your
a little
next.
bit more to see how
That'd-
trusty he can be at center, but like
Yeah, that'd be cool.
any
It's a good
small little glimpse like that is
No, that's
what you
awesome.
need,
That's what
dog.
you want to see
That's
out
what
of
you
this
need.
kid. Like I said, Lil Thing King.
Oh yeah.
The next Lil Thing King, I guess.
One more thing, Elias Lindholm since Thursday has 2 game-winning goals on 2 shots.
Brilliant. 100%
Wow.
shooting percentage. Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Make them when they count.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what the? That's unreal.
That
is so cool.
Calgary line is insane. Like, just to note, by the way, like, holy shit. I've been wanting to see that line be formed since Kachuk was a full-time NHLer, and they finally did it, and it's so good. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I've got an interesting stat here. Johnny Goudreau leads the NHL with most primary assists this year at 33.
Yeah, I'm not
The closest
surprised.
to him is Huberdeau at 31, and then it drops off to 26.
Oof.
Oh wow.
I heard a stat that I totally just lost my spot. Who are we talking about?
Johnny Goudreau.
Johnny Goudreau. I heard a stat that he has like 30-some points in like 17 games or something. I heard during a game the other week or the other day. That was insane.
I heard something
He's
dumb
like
that.
ridiculous.
Oh yeah, one last thing, because I was bringing it up the other times, was because the away teams, the last 2 times we had episodes, were winning by like several games over top of the home teams. But this last few games, the home teams came back a little bit.
Nice.
They're 500 kind of, but not really. They were 13, 14, and 7. 7 shutout or overtime or shootout losses. 13, Ouch. 14, and 7. So like, what the fuck are these home teams doing, guys? Win games. What are you doing? Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
That's fucking weird.
That is weird. That is weird.
That's really weird.
But yeah, we can move on now.
All right, let's get into my slow rip really quick. I'll jump into mine. I got that Habs Toronto game last night where the Habs slaughtered the Leafs 5-2, and it was super, super funny the whole time. I have to talk about this first line in Montreal. This Anderson, Caulfield, and Suzuki line is shaping up to be, like I said, one of my favorite lines. When Anderson's hot, he is so good. He just scores at will, and he's got 3 goals in 2 games in the Montreal or against Toronto and the Islanders. Caulfield getting a goal and 1 assist in this, 2 assists in this game, which is amazing. And he was everywhere. And then watching Suzuki start throwing the body too, like he laid out a Leafs team, man. I think it was Dermott.
I'll give you a Caulfield stat. Since Thursday, he's got a 37 shooting percentage. He's been playing like 19 minutes, man.
Yeah,
so
as he should.
Actually getting used. He got a game-tying goal and a game-winning goal in the same game. And like you said, he had like 3 points that one game. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists in the last 3 games.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. And what did St. Louis say in his press conference? Systems can strangle certain players at times, and offensive creativity and stuff like that. So what does he do? He doesn't play a system. He lets them be creative because he'd rather them make a bad creative mistake than not make a creative decision at all. And which
giving them the wise Jedi terms. Probably talking in Yoda.
It's just I'm just so happy to finally see these young guys playing good.
Agree. Like we see in so many sports, there are athletes that make those creative, riskier plays, and they pay off. They pay off very well if you are good at it. Because while it is still risky, there's judgment, right? These players are brilliant at the sport. They think a mile a minute while everything's happening, and they can make these decisions with an air of judgment.
Yeah, it's a great point because it used to be in the back of the day when if you're a rookie, you make 1 mistake, you're done. You're out. You're out of the lineup. You don't get a chance again. You don't get a chance game until you turn 24 and you're a man. Like that's what they thought, and it's changing now. Obviously, like we see how many younger players scoring and taking over teams. You just got to learn how to manage them, and St. Louis has done a brilliant job. Brilliant. Yeah. While we're on the Leafs, I have to talk about how bad they were. I want to talk about their goalie first, Mrazek. He wasn't that bad. He let in 5, but that defense hung him out to dry left and right. The Leafs. It was awful. Justin Hall I'm worrying for him on this team long term, big time. I didn't see a lot good from the Leafs. They were outworked. They were outclassed. It's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah,
but
not what you want from the Leafs.
Yeah, obviously.
Not in the regular season. Certainly.
Yeah, exactly. And it sounds like I'm being harsh, obviously, because I kind of am, but it's just the reality of it. Montreal outplayed.
Well, didn't they just come off the back of a big loss to the Blues?
Yeah, 6-3 loss to the Blues. So
so
it's just not a great showing, but whatever. Not too big of a deal. But I figure since we're on the Leafs, I should segue this into some of the 2 trades they made in the past couple days. So let's start with the obvious main one. Leafs trading both with Arizona, sending Nick Ritchie and either a 3rd-round pick in 2023 or a 2nd in 2025, which I want to discuss because I've never seen this before, for Ilya Lyubushkin and Ryan Dzingel. They placed Ryan Dzingel on waivers, and he was claimed by San Jose. Let's discuss the Arizona side of it first, because I'm more intrigued about the picks than anything.
The only thing I want to say is I feel bad for Ryan Dzingel because it must have been like, all right, welcome to Toronto, take your stuff. Not you. We got you another flight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you gotta wonder. That's weird.
I just want to talk about the picks that they gave, because I have never seen an option like this, like a definitive option. I've seen conditions where it's like, if this happens, you get this, right? But never you can decide.
I've heard of a choice condition, okay, but it's not very often.
And
not very often though.
I've been hearing this float around that a lot of people didn't know you could trade your picks past 3 years in the future. Yeah, exactly.
Why? Just because cap friendly doesn't let you.
That is exactly why, actually. There's a lot of people, and actually a lot of notable NHL people out there said it. Like, I was surprised.
Wow.
I know, and
like, guys, you can like do anything.
Pretty much. Can. And the reason I was questioning this is because, Chase, you asked a question, I believe, was it last pod or the pod before, about that one weird trade you made. And you asked, are you able to... What was it again? You said
put a condition on a player
a pick for another team.
It was it would have included like the NHL. Like it would have had been a condition that the NHL would have had to sign off on, because it was basically you get a pick if you sign this guy.
Right.
So
and
like
I just want to bring that up because now I think you can loophole what you made. I think there's a way you can make that happen without actually saying it that way, right? There's like the cap. How many times have people found out ways to the cap? It's just made me question with this type of trade and the either or, because I had never seen the either or pick before, especially 2 years difference. That was interesting.
That's weird. I've never seen it that spread out. I've seen it like you can choose between like having a pick this year or next, like the same sort of pick or something like that.
Yeah, like a second this year, a second next year, or something.
Nothing that deep.
So I was just intrigued about this, and it opened my mind up a lot more about that trade. Is why I wanted to bring it up, because I think we'll start to see a lot more of these creative trades, and I think we should start. As a fan base, I'm not saying as a podcast, I'm saying as a hockey fan base, we should start thinking of these loopholes. I think they're so interesting. But getting Nick Ritchie trade for Arizona or Toronto.
I don't know how it doesn't really help Toronto.
This obviously helps Toronto.
Like, I don't see how it helps.
Getting Nick Ritchie helps Toronto.
I will explain how.
Like, just because of next year, like in all reality, Arizona didn't want to drop Dzingel and him possibly not get claimed. That's why they let Toronto do it, because they weren't worried about him getting claimed.
They wanted him to show value, right? Yeah. Like I was asking that a bit earlier last week. Like, how much is Dzingel worth? Like, is he worth the fifth?
He's had a rough year.
Apparently, like I know he's had a rough year, 7 points, but like he's an NHL player. Like he's a legit NHL player. He's been there for a while.
I know.
I know he's absolutely
for Arizona this year.
Not massive this year, but
I don't know. Massive in terms of playing on the ice.
Because exactly. They need players.
Played a lot of games for them, is what I mean.
So I don't know. But moving to the Toronto side of the Lyubushkin, obviously we talked about Dzingel. I think this is great. We obviously know why they made this trade. St. Louis is the reason. They need to be bigger. Everyone's saying, "Oh, look at the pizzas he throws." Oh, this. First of all, he played on Arizona, first whole career. Not worried. I love Ilya Lyubushkin. We all do. I'm pretty sure.
I'm a decent fan of
for a depth D-man, he is brilliant. He would be brilliant.
Yeah, I'm just assuming that this means they're trading Hall. Like that's.
Yep, absolutely, and I'm cool with that. I think that's a great move.
I actually Toronto went really, really smart with this trade. I think this was fantastic for Toronto. Sorry.
Yes, and for all the people out there saying, "Oh, people saying this is a good trade for Toronto," what are you talking about? It's a stupid trade. It's a bad trade because they made the signing in the first place. Okay, well. They also signed like 6 wingers, and 5 out of the 6 hit.
Yeah, but they were also not at $2.5 million. They're all at way under that.
But lots of teams were interested in Ritchie, and teams will continue to be interested in Ritchie after this contract. He scored 20. He's 25.
More than anything,
He's not.
I was surprised that Arizona went the path they did with this because, like, a second to Arizona is valuable, but not in 2025. Are they even going to be in Arizona at that point? Like,
that's fair. Someone explained it on Twitter in a better way that if Arizona buys out Richie, they essentially paid $1.4 million for a second. That's it. Like
yeah, I'd be
the
100% taking that second because that's like the fact that they gave him a chance to give him a second. Like, I don't know where the value is here. Like, I just don't understand. Like,
it's because it's earlier and because I don't know. I don't know when
I
you
feel
have to
like,
make this decision.
I feel like it's just weird that like Richie can't be like that throw-in cap sort of guy to make a trade work on a team that's not in the playoffs. Like, how is that a big deal? And I don't understand how it had to be something like this. Like,
because they're cap strong and they need.
But they screwed up, and he did terrible, and he didn't even want to play in the AHL, and they were forced to move him. So I guess this is what you get. But yeah,
I'm a lot less critical
Obviously,
about
it's not
this.
that. It's not like a big deal. It's a fucking
random.
Yeah,
it's a fucking random deal. So
I
saved them like $1 million.
Postseason, I think Lyubushkin's gonna be like massive.
Yeah, and that's something people like. They're saying, "Oh, is it nothing trade? It's mainly cap move." Like, Lyubushkin's good, guys. People need to realize he is
NHL player.
He is an NHL defenseman. And I was like, "Oh, he'll be a 7th, 8th D-man." It's like, no, he fucking won't. No, he won't.
Like
he will be your 6th or 5th D-man. He is probably better than Hall, or he is better than Hall. He is probably better.
He's about the same type.
He's probably better than Liljegren is now. Today,
at this point,
like. Muzzin's hurt.
He's like 29, man. He's been around for like a long time, like super long time.
I don't know. I think he's a lot better than people think, and we'll give him credit for it in Toronto because all he's got to do is push people in front of the net, and he's doing his job right. Done. Push people out in front of the net. Give Campbell his eyes. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's just such a weird trade. Like
It is weird.
I don't understand the trade, but like Toronto ended up with Lyubushkin, so that's cool. Like,
yeah, to me it makes abundance of sense for
me.
Lot.
It was just you get rid of Richie.
Well, yeah, for sure.
The number one thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree with you guys when you're saying.
Move on to the second trade that went on. Very, very minor. Carter Hutton sent from Arizona to Toronto as well for future considerations.
This was a bit of an interesting.
I don't know why. I genuinely have no idea why. Is Mrazek being traded?
Yeah.
This month?
He might get traded. Yeah.
Like that's the only.
They didn't plan on doing it, but like somebody might make them.
Right, and that's why I said like I threw it out there last pod about Edmonton because I think Edmonton would be stupid to not explore Mrazek if you could get him for cheap. Because he's a good goalie, obviously. I wonder if this is signs to a Mrazek trade, and
currently Hutton is gonna remain a part of the organization in Toronto, but he'll play and live in Tucson where his family is.
Huh?
Because he got loaned to the Tucson Roadrunners.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So he doesn't actually have to move or anything like that.
Yeah.
So basically, they can send him. They can send him down.
I'm pretty sure they can call him up. But
so Arizona can send him down. Yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense without losing him for free while still using him on your AHL team. I guess. I guess losing him.
No, like he's owned by Toronto.
Yeah, he's owned by Toronto.
Call him up, you would go to.
No, but that's why I'm saying
they just need a goalie to play.
If they put him on waivers, I'm saying if like let's say San Jose claimed him, they couldn't. They might not want to send him back to Tucson to play, right? So they made this trade so he can stay in Arizona, but be a part of the Leafs. Sure. Yeah, I don't know. This seems like more of a family decision than anything, honestly. If I'm being really honest, to Carter Hutton's family, like he just wants to be around his family and play hockey still.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you want
and
to, right?
If he's probably gonna get claimed by a team, then
which I certainly think he would have.
Yeah, I do too. I think there's a lot of teams that would.
Every team could use
Columbus would claim him based on where their goalies are at today. Being injured and such. Yeah, no, I just that's the trades we got for the Toronto. It was pretty minor, but very important to talk about.
I think somebody needs to let Toronto know they can trade with other teams than Arizona.
Yeah, no kidding. Last year it was just Columbus, and now it's just AZ. So Phil Kessel back to Toronto, boys.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Well, they're already paying him,
Good
so might as well.
But yeah, no, like we were saying about Mrazek, they do need to move on from him, and they might as well now if somebody wants him, because they got to pay Campbell, and you're not. I don't think you're paying Campbell with that Mrazek contract. I really don't, unless you're missing pieces out of your lineup, and I think that's too important.
Without giving up something you're not going to want to give up, you just simply put you can't.
So, perfect. Let's move on. Chase, do you still have your quick or your in-depth game? I can't remember if we threw that.
I don't know. I kind of went fairly in depth.
Let's just move on to the news then. I think we're good.
That's cool.
Long enough. I don't have a lot of news. I just got a little bit of stuff here. Let's start with Nashville, as the NHL fined John Hines $25,000 for inappropriate conduct. This one I have a big problem with the NHL fining. I looked on Twitter for this, and I didn't find any great clips of it, but essentially of what I found, John Hines said the ref, this was the Washington game, by the way, the Nashville-Washington game. The refs were bad. He said that. Said, you were bad at your job today, and while he's on the bench, and then walked away. That is it. He got fined $25,000 for you're bad at your job.
I've heard that happen in the NBA as well, but I do agree. I think criticism, especially to referees, as long as it's not hurtful, personal, or harmful in any way.
Yes,
as long as you're critiquing the work they did, and you aren't going beyond that. There's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong. I have zero issues with him saying you were bad at your job today.
But I have heard other organizations like the NBA do exactly this.
I think it's stupid for that little of a comment. Now, if he said, you're a fucking idiot, you should be fired for this or something, sure. If he says, you were bad and made some bad calls, okay. Congrats, he's a ref. Yeah, every ref makes bad calls, obviously. Every ref is told they make bad calls. Every ref knows they make bad calls. It happens. This isn't absurd.
It is a hard job. It is hard. Unbelievably fast pace.
Absolutely.
There's a reason there's more than one referee, and you can't be everywhere at once. You can't watch everything at once. So there is an error of judgment that you have to allow.
Now, however, if you make a big blatant mistake, it's a big blatant mistake.
It's a mistake. You have to own that.
You have to own that. Now, being that you did your job wrong in certain moments, everyone does. It's life. So, I don't know. I was more mad about this than I probably should be, but I think it's so ridiculous. It's so soft-minded. Come on.
On lighter news, did you see Joe Pavelski get fined $5,000 for water bottles?
Yeah, I did. That was funny.
No, that was Ben.
No, that was Ben. That was Ben.
Was it Ben? I thought it was Pavelski.
No, it was Ben. Yeah.
No, it was Jamie.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, Mackenzie Entwistle was just having a rough.
He was shook.
Throwing him on the ice, and he's just skating back and gets water to the face.
You should. Did you guys watch all?
Him a break. He's a young guy, dude.
Did you guys watch all the Stars as he skated by, give him the biggest death stare of all time? I laughed so hard at that. Oh, so good. Moving on, we got some Bruins news and some Marchand news. Bettman upholds his 6-game suspension. So I was a little shocked that he held 6 games. I thought he would have reduced a game or 2.
Yeah, maybe a game.
I was
one
a little at max.
One made sense. It was a weird situation, right? The suspension was you can't do that to a goalie, and it was Brad Marchand, but he really didn't do anything. But I found out what Jari said that made Marchand go bananas, and Jari said, "How about that fucking save?" And Marchand lost it. That's so funny because I hear Jari does this a lot. He talks a lot to the players that are hacking him, and he roasts them. Super funny. That made you swing your stick. That's where I was sitting. I was like, it makes me wonder, did he say an extra line? There was an extra line in there, hey. But even if that pissed him off.
Marchand, I'm pretty sure, agreed that was what was said.
Yeah, that was said for sure. I believe that was said, but what else is probably not going to be known to us. But I just thought
Yeah,
it was
you gotta
super
wonder if
funny.
those guys just text each other after and just like, yeah.
Fuck you, idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Dumbass,
just not
you got
say that
6 game
part.
suspension for me bragging about a save.
It's
Big
not like
dummy.
it's not like
Oh.
they're getting brought into a room after the game and being like, "What did you say?"
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Before you talk to each other, what did you say?
No, absolutely. Moving on, I just had 2 more things. Some Blackhawks news. Bobby Hull will no longer be team ambassador for them. Don't really know why. It's just news out there that Blackhawks get rid of some brass.
Yeah, they basically let him go at the start of the season, but they didn't want to bring it out because he's
because of the scandal.
had just a horrendous past, man.
Yeah.
Like just sexual
So-
assault charges, this, that, and the other thing, and
Yeah.
no, he's
I actually
The
didn't
stuff
even know
that
it's
that.
called
we don't
he's
need any more of.
it's called after that whole thing happened in the summer.
It's called not running your team right.
They
You
both
gotta.
agreed
Yeah.
to apparently they both agreed to
Bullshit. They said
jointly
you
agreed-
either say
Wait, sorry, I'll say the exact team statement. When it comes to Bobby specifically, we jointly agreed earlier this season that he will retire from any official team role.
which that
We
means
basically told him, if you don't retire, we'll make sure you're gone.
yeah, if you don't resign, it's gonna be a public issue, and instead of making this an issue, just resign too.
Just resign.
Just resign instead of getting fired. Basically, that's
Yeah.
This team, man.
So once again, yeah, like I guess Chicago's doing something. This is just they just didn't tell anybody until now.
That's the problem. That's the problem. This isn't of what happened. Like, this stuff happens in businesses. Do we wish it never did? Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
What you do is you don't go, shh, 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 don't tell anyone. We'll sweep it under the rug, and then we'll bring it up when the noise is super quiet and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
cut ties
Pathetic.
immediately.
Well, they didn't want to look super bad. Hey,
They
'cause
are
already
super
look
bad.
So bad.
They
Yeah,
are.
I think they look worse doing this.
Yeah.
Because it looks shady, right? Like if
It
they,
is shady.
If
I
if
think.
all this stuff came out and they just axed him and they said, you know what, as an organization, we cannot condone this and we
That
must
is a
take action.
great point.
I would have accepted that. I would have been like, all right, you know what? At
Dude.
least as an organization, they're hearing the noise and they're moving forward.
Dude, listen to some of this shit. A Russian newspaper reporter in '98 said that Hull said Adolf Hitler had some pretty good ideas. His second wife Joanne
Maybe on
accused him
money.
of his second wife Joanne accused him of abuse during an interview. Convicted of assaulting a police officer. The
Oh,
interview-
every
yeah,
Blackhawk's done that. Even Ed Belfour. And
yeah,
Patrick
it's
Kane.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and Patty Kane.
I'm
I
just-
think it was long overdue, but yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, no, I think it's ridiculous. Why he
Bobby
wasn't
Hull.
fired with the other problems when they were fired is beyond me. But
He was.
should've
They
just
just
cleaned
didn't tell you
everything up.
till now.
okay, yeah, there. Why didn't they tell us then? That's the better question. That's just stupid. The fact you thought you had to hide that is what's wrong with you in the first place.
Yeah,
As
exactly.
a franchise.
It shows that they knew, right?
It shows they knew, and it shows that they feared.
Ooh, it looked
For
bad, man. I
themselves.
still have this guy.
Yeah.
No fucking
Yeah.
shit, man.
I would
They were
rather
considering
if
PR as opposed to the human element.
if you're in trouble, you might as well take it all in at once, so you can move past it all at once instead of
Yeah, you can just throw it all up in the air. You can say,
Yeah.
all right, you know what? We fucked up. We'll own it. But from moving on forward,
Here is A, B, C, D, E of team players, personnel in our franchise that have done bad things that we found out that are gone, and we're
gonna move
changing.
on from
The
that.
culture is shifting completely. That's what you do. You fire down there everyone, and you bring in brand new everyone.
Yep.
I know it's not everyone's
Because
fault, but
there's no other way to move on from these kind of things because it's so, like you said, it's so shady. It's
It is
all
shady.
done behind closed doors.
Yep.
It's all hushed down. Everybody's getting paid off so that they don't talk.
Mhm.
I'm sure people are like blackmailed. Like it's
it's
not the
ridiculous.
kind of thing you want
Absolutely
running an
ridiculous.
organization.
I got no
That's
respect
how
for
you end up like Arizona.
I got more respect for Arizona than I do Chicago. Way
Yeah.
more respect. And they don't
I'd
even
rather
have an
work in the
NHL
office
rink.
in Arizona than in Chicago right now.
I'd rather watch Arizona play in an ODR that doesn't even get Zamboni'd than support Chicago.
An ODR that can hold like 10 fans.
Yeah, exactly. and I'm one of them. So me and the 9 Arizona fans.
You and
No,
9
I'm just
other
kidding.
people that are freaking their ass off.
Yeah, no. I got one more thing. Very small contract, but it's for a Penguin. Chad Ruhwedel signs a 2-year, $800K contract. What a contract for a 6'7" D-man.
When I saw this, I thought, holy shit, that is a fantastic contract for your 6'7" D-man.
Oh, man. He has been playing almost every game this year. He has played a lot of games this year, and he's found a role on that bottom line with Pettersson, and he's been
$800K
solid.
for 2 years of a very solid bottom D-man. You couldn't ask for anything better.
Couldn't ask for anything better. That's exactly
what you
it.
want to pay them, and that is how long you want them for.
That is exactly it, right? Like the best part is it's next year and after. Like it's not like it's this year and next year. It's 3 years pretty much, 2.5. So absolutely
I
brilliant.
was really impressed when I saw that. That hurts because like you obviously want the teams you don't support to make bad contracts.
Absolutely.
You can only say so much about ones like this. It was really good.
When it's a smart deal, it's a smart deal, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's all I got for the news. Jordan, do you have anything? Even though we're just waiting for Chase to come back here.
I don't think I had anything.
If you don't got anything, then there's Chase, and we can throw over to the injury corner.
Yeah, why don't we just do the injury corner?
Yeah, let's throw over to the injury corner. So, alrighty, Jordan, why don't you kick it off, and then we'll jump in.
So we might as well start with the one we've talked a bit about, Mark Stone. He's on IR now. He's getting back surgery, so Eichel can play.
Zero timeline.
Which
I found. By the way,
no idea when Mark Stone will be back.
Yeah, I wanted to jump the gun and defend you here on this one for the timeline because damn sure Vegas ain't giving that report. No, we aren't gonna know until day one of playoffs whether he's full or something. Where he's been healthy for a couple weeks actually, but
he's having surgery or something.
He's back. Yeah,
he should be.
Yeah, I thought I heard it should be about a 2 month.
They're looking into
thing.
it right now.
2 months
should technically be about a 2 month thing. So
they'll wait then.
The
they'll wait a couple weeks to do the surgery, like 2-3 weeks, and then probably do it. I'd imagine. And maybe 2 weeks and then do it. Yeah, because there's still about 3 weeks in the season.
Sure
plus
lines up.
Plus,
they're gonna make sure that he's healthy by the time playoffs is, but they're gonna make sure he's not too healthy beforehand.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
continuing on, we've got Jessie Pulliarby. He'll be out for about 4 weeks with a lower body injury.
That sucks because they're actually playing good.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually started to play good and he got hurt.
In their top 6, so.
Yep.
Matt Dumba, he'll be out till early March with a lower body injury.
Damn.
So not too long, but still a big blow for Minnesota because Dumba's wicked.
Yeah, I love Dumba. Minnesota's been so
Me
good.
too. Dumba's one of my favorite Minnesota Wild players.
Saskatchewan born.
Yeah, man. Is he from Regina?
He's
Regina?
Yeah, man. Actually, I have that Saskatchewan team now that I think about it. I found a Saskatchewan guys.
That's awesome.
Pretty sick lineup, dog.
Maybe we'll have to throw that up. Maybe if we have time at the end of the pod, I'll throw it to you and you can tell us the team Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I could rip it over real quick.
That'd be cool. We could go each province every now and then. That'd be sweet. Sorry, Jordan. Injury corner.
No, that's okay.
No tangents. Back.
Drake Cagula. He suffered an injury back in November 22nd against the Blue Jackets. He's been trying to rehab it since then, but it just hasn't worked. So now he's going to have a surgery to repair a herniated disc in his back. So that timeline lands him about 6 to 8 months. His season is done.
You know that thing that Eichel didn't want to do? Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
So that lands him back like October-ish.
Yeah, that's not how old is he?
I'm not certain on that.
He'd be about
like 27, or is he?
He's close to 30.
What team is he on again?
On Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay, I'll find out his age. I'm just curious because I wonder if he's even gonna be able to come back. Like, I would worry about that aspect of it. Yeah, he's 27. Drake Cagula.
So not too many injuries, and then a few injury updates. Zucker, he could return mid to late March he had core muscle surgery, I think in January.
fucking trade him. Just trade Zucker. We're better without him.
Yeah.
We are.
Zucker
Like, Chase, I'm all in. I'm all in with what you've been saying for 2 years now. I'm all in. Because, like, don't get me wrong. Zucker's a fantastic player. He is a good player. He's always injured, but he's a good player. We are so good. And I forgot he was a Penguin. You know how hard it is for me to forget a Penguin? Especially that makes $5 million? It's almost impossible. So, yeah, I think he needs to get traded. I think this team is...
Yeah, man, you guys can really make something happen with $5.5 million.
Big.
You know,
Make
like
something
that's a
big happen.
sick deal. You could get Fleury half retained and add somebody in replace of him. So
we could add a depth D-man, right? D-man too, like a 7th big D-man.
What do you mean? Just keep Ruiz there, dog.
That's why I said 7D. I'll take Eric Branson on his contract for 1 year.
Eric Branson ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, just to play 3 playoff games just to clear the front of the net. Sure.
Yeah. Hey, you got news on your Caps there, buddy? Got some news on your Caps? I see some Capitals skating around lately. Got Vanasek, TJ Oshie, another guy, Justin Schultz, I think.
Yeah, I saw TJ's coming back pretty close.
Skating, boys. They're skating. God, does that
back.
Team need to get healthy one day, hey?
I also have another injury that happened yesterday, and it's obviously a big one. I sort of mentioned it during the game, but Jake Muzzin. Don't know timeline. He got a concussion, it seems, last game. It didn't look that bad of a play, and then he lost an edge and hit his head on the ice, and boy,
sometimes things like that just happen.
That was scary, and as crazy as I may sound here, I think this is the biggest blessing in disguise if Muzzin can be out until playoffs, because then the Leafs have $5.5 million to spend at the deadline for a exact Jake Muzzin replacement, hopefully on the right for them. And then when he comes back, you got that pairing. Go out and get Manson. Go all out and get Manson. That's my advice.
That would be so funny if it just seems like Toronto's forced into spending at the deadline again.
Because of injuries?
Lose and not win the Stanley Cup.
Oh, that would be painful.
That is the goal, and then we'll just laugh.
Really funny.
Yeah, so I just want to throw that out there. Big loss release.
Yeah, Jaden Schwartz, he had his hand injury not too long ago. I think start of the year or maybe end of last year. He could return March as well.
That'd be cool.
So keep an eye out for him if you're a Kraken fan.
Well, or not. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, or just a fan. I mean, Jaden Schwartz is a wicked player.
I like Jaden Schwartz, but...
Yeah, good Saskatchewan guy.
Oh, yeah, man. Lovely guy.
Yeah. And finally, Ryan Ellis. He could play, I think, his 5th game this year. Yeah. Keep an eye out for Ryan Ellis in March.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go Ryan Ellis. 5 games.
Fuck yeah, baby.
I guess not just this year, this season.
Yeah, this season. That's bad. That's rough.
That's my injury corner. Not too much this week.
Yeah,
it's
not too much.
Week.
That's all right. Cool. Good injury corner. Should we?
No, I'm happy when the injury corner is small, man. I don't want to feel
Yeah,
injuries.
no kidding. Especially when it's short of names that we like to see on the ice all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a Mark Stone.
The last thing we want are big, great hockey players not playing.
So. Yeah, I know. I want to see Mark Stone play with Eichel, not change out for Eichel.
Not until the playoffs.
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly.
Pain. Just pain. Perfect. Let's slide into our second last segment of the podcast, our trade segment. We sort of did last one, where we each pick a team and just pick a topic of trade. Who wants to kick it off? I'll kick it off because since I'm talking about Flyers, I'll kick it off. Mine's I ummed and awed with this a lot, but I went Vancouver, and I picked 3 players to trade where they seem to want cap space. And as bad as I want to trade Myers, I don't know how.
I don't think it's possible.
I traded. Basically, I'm trading one of these 3 if I can. I don't like trading any of them, though. If I'm being honest, Besser's the one I'm probably trading the most. But it's Besser, Garland, and JT Miller. Because I have a feeling they're going to move one of those forwards. So, let's start with JT Miller, because I just don't believe you should do this one as much.
He's
it's a heartbeat, unless you can get, like, King's Ransom. Now, I asked for a King's Ransom. So I think this is too much for this team to say yes, but this is the only way I'm saying yes, pretty much. I want Brandon Schneider and a first-round pick from the Rangers for JT Miller, at least.
Yeah.
At bare minimum, I want a great right-handed defenseman prospect and a first-round pick.
Nils Sundquist.
Yeah. Or
It's not bad.
I'd throw in
It's
Nils,
not
but I'd
bad,
want to
but
pick
yeah.
probably too with Nils. But it's got to be something like that. I want a defenseman prospect, ideally right-handed, and I need a first. But I don't like trading Miller. I don't at all.
I don't either.
Not right now.
I wonder if you would. I wonder if it has to be like a this year's first-round pick, or if you could get away with next year, like for the Rangers' sake.
I asked for this year's, but Schneider's
nice
a big
piece.
prospect. He's a nice piece. That's why I asked for 2 big pieces, though, because I don't love it. I don't want to move Miller.
You gotta wait.
And I don't blame you at all.
So,
I'm pretty okay with moving Miller, honestly. I think even just for his sake, honestly, I think
for the right price. I'm not selling unless I get, like I said, a Kings ransom for Miller that you're supposed to.
A guy that really can dictate.
Yeah, and that'll be what it happens, because they won't do it either.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they can wait until next year too, and
they don't have to. Right?
Yeah,
they're not in a position where they're scrambling to make playoffs.
Exactly. Moving on, I got Connor Garland in a trade here. This is another one. I don't like trading Garland.
Me neither.
This
I like
one,
that he brings a lot to the team.
Yeah, he brings secondary scoring, tenacity. I love a lot about his game. However, if you're gonna trade him, I think Boston should be on this call first. To me, that makes the most sense.
Good in Boston.
Yeah, I know he would. Hey, Garland, Connor Garland in Boston. He's got term too.
I don't mind him. I don't mind him there, but I don't know if that's the.
To me, that makes the most sense.
I wonder
they need secondary scoring.
Yeah, and I think he fit their playstyle really good.
They want to get back to that more grindy playstyle that they haven't been playing as much this year. They've been pretty disappointing based on the Bruins style of hockey that we're used to.
Do you want like Eric Holla then and shit? Like,
sure, I'll take Holla back, but the trade I have basically, I would very much like Vakanainen. That's the first name I want because again, I want a D-man for this forward. I want a D-man prospect who can jump in soon. If not this year, next year. I want him in the team next year if possible. And then after that, it's got to be the Toffoli trade pretty much. So a prospect in the first, hey? So Vakanainen in the first is what I asked for because Garland and Toffoli, very similar. They both have term on their contract. They both are secondary scorers. Garland's smaller, but he's got more tenacity. It's a little bit more money.
Yeah.
It's a lot, it seems.
Money for a long time is the only
I don't think it's that much.
Wondering how many people will be in on
$5 million is a value contract to me for him. I think he's so worth
a guy
that.
Brings that much.
Exactly. Now, like you said, I can bring back a Howla or something like that. Like I can bring Cap back. I was just getting the gist of what I want. Yeah, I don't really care. Because they want cap space also. Gotta keep in mind the Canucks. So if we're moving a guy, I don't ideally want to bring in a ton of cap if I do. So, but no, those are 2 trades. I don't love those trades, if I'm being brutally honest, though, for Vancouver. I think Garland could turn out to be a great Canuck for a long time. And Miller is just right price you sell. But without that, I don't do it. Now, Besser, this is where I was more interested in. And I struggled hard with this because Frank Saravelli came out and said that the price for Besser is substantially higher, maybe not substantially, but higher than Toffoli, which I thought was pretty crazy. And the Devils are the number. It isn't, but it is. I wouldn't. I
wouldn't pay it, but I can understand.
I wouldn't pay it.
All right, where we set the.
I wouldn't pay for Besser, but this is what I went with. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it, but this is the only way I could see it being worth more and even. Zaka, Mukamadulin in a second. I know Mukamadulin is a big prospect for them, but they have a lot of defenseman prospects. They got Luke Hughes, they got Ty Smith, they got some lots to fill on that, so they can afford to move him.
A lot of late first round defensemen.
Yeah, so Pavel Zaka, Mukamadulin, and I threw 2 seconds in there to be worth more than Toffoli. I don't agree with that. I think Mukamadulin and Zaka would be a hell of a return for Besser, honestly, straight up.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
But
you get Zaka that can
amount
play
for sure.
Not bad, and then you get Mukamadulin is very good prospect.
Yeah, very good defense prospect. Could be a good top 4. So Yeah, I struggled so hard with Vancouver, but these were the names that have been floating the most. I just wanted to explore it and
Yeah, no, I like that.
discuss, frankly,
Yeah.
more than
I
anything.
think Vancouver aren't in a position where they need to trade. So, like
No.
you said, if they're going to trade, they should get something that is more worth what they're trading.
Yes, and like I said, they want cap. Rutherford really wants some cap space and some relief, and that's why I brought up Myers. If you can get Myers out of the door, brilliant. But good luck.
If you would literally give up Myers for a pick. You
Yeah,
would pay a pick to move Myers.
Yeah, I got something for that later with Myers because I have a question for you guys because I don't know, but so I wanted to discuss you. But that's my Vancouver. Just want to go over that. Some interesting forwards. Again, I'm not for trading all these guys unless the price is perfect for Vancouver.
No, and I completely agree.
They just don't.
I
need
wouldn't.
to.
You're not in a position where you need to. So
the only one I would I'd be all about trading Miller for like the preems. Like obviously it's got to be the greatness.
Yeah,
but,
and that's
like,
just it, right?
I'd be all in for that, and I don't even think about Garland too. Depends how I feel about my setup of my team and stuff like that, and like what prospects I get back.
Yeah,
like
if I'm trading for one of these forwards, I'm really looking at Garland. Miller, obviously, like he's probably
like
number one.
If I send a Miller to like what you said with the Rangers and get like that right-handed D-man, then I probably shy away from moving Garland. But if I go to like Boston and I get like throw them Miller and get like that Fabian Lysell or a right-handed prospect or something, maybe I go ahead and move a Garland maybe in a year or sooner, whenever the hell. But yeah, it's kind of the return you get back off of Miller would really change what I'm thinking about for his future.
A year or two and get him while he's in his prime.
Yeah.
Right? So get his value at his peak.
Yeah, no, exactly. With these trades, it's just tough because they don't, like I said, don't need to. They could definitely turn out to be they're all top 6 guys. Like, they all play top 6 minutes, so.
Yeah, in all reality, Vancouver should really just only look at shedding Myers, only look at their defense, because these guys are under contract. You should be able to, if you make a Myers move, you should be able to sign Bozer. And if you go with a not expensive defense, then you got to deal with a half-ass defense. Well, it's half-ass right now. So maybe you can make the team better in the offseason and actually have a better year. And then you can see at that deadline, like maybe you actually had a good year and you don't have to just sell absolutely everything. And maybe there's a reason to keep Miller and you can actually like, hey, there is some light here. We might be able to get this going in a couple of years. You don't have to leave. Like we won't feel obligated because it's really up to how things go this offseason and the next offseason to if they're going to get into a sort of cup contention or into a great playoff contention.
Well, and
in a couple of years, or is it 3 years, 4, 5 years?
Well, Rutherford came out and said too in his interview that if the team is not better than what it is now in 2 to 3 years, then he's failed. Then if they're not in a better directional space,
which I certainly agree with.
Absolutely, they're in limbo. He said we should not be a middling team. Like we're fighting, but we're not in. Like I want to either be in or I want to be out. And so, which obviously leaning towards in. On the Besser note, worth noting too, he has a 7.5 qualifying offer. Just the way his contract works and stuff. I know he's only at $5 million now, but because of this year's of his deal was more. That's a lot of money for Besser. $7.5 million. He's not worth $7.5 million right now at all.
No, not even 7.
Yeah, no. You can pay him 5, 6 for long term, but for sure, it's just the injuries. I'm not sold on Besser, but I'm not sold to give up on him yet. So he's tough. But
no, I agree.
And then
I
obviously
don't think the return is as high as the reward of him being good.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I don't trade all these guys. I trade one if I make a deal.
You're not
in the end. I'm not trading one whole. I'm not trading half my top 6 just for depth for prospects and stuff. But one of them I looked at. So
how about I throw it to the draft with
Arizona picks? Compete with Arizona for the most first round picks this draft.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's move on to what you guys got. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
All right. What do you got for us, Jordan?
We talked about him earlier, Mark Giordano of the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah.
I could only come up with 2 destinations for him, so I'm hoping you guys could give me a third. But the 2 that I had were Toronto and the Kings.
Flames, obviously, too.
The old Kings, yeah. Hey,
I
I've been
like the
thinking about the
Kings,
Kings
too.
with him. I've been thinking about the Kings. I've been thinking about like St. Louis, some of these other,
St. Louis
like
is a good
in
one.
all reality, I know I've heard that Gio only really wants to go to 2 places, but when it comes down to it, like there's a good chance to win with a couple of these teams. You can go to UFA, like they're
I'm
great
sure
rentals.
close to the
And they would,
deadline, I'm sure you could convince him to go to a random team. That's good.
yeah, like St. Louis would. I think he'd work well there.
Yeah,
He'd
he
work well with like the Kings. Like they actually could use him a
Yeah.
lot. So and
Replace
he wants to be
Edler.
used. I don't know how much he wants to go back to Calgary and play third line.
Yeah, that's fair. It's
So
it's just home,
yeah, that's
right?
where I'm
That's the
getting at
issue.
when it comes to this sort of situation. The fact that Muzzin's hurt, like maybe that opens up a Giordano to actually be able to go
like
there.
Gio to the Leafs a lot more than
But then
Muzzin's
that
hurt.
means that like Toronto, like I said, once again is throwing a first round pick out there for some guy they might have.
I have a
few
question
months.
about Giordano. Instead of picking the team for a second, are you getting a first for Gio?
I don't think so.
That's what I wonder. Like, I don't think he's worth a first.
There's no
what is
if he's
what
half
is he
retained
worth?
and you're
Yeah,
I
shedding
would
somebody,
say at
maybe.
least.
Yeah. You know, like you have like a dead weight and like $2 million or something.
Well, if you
like
send like
Washington,
and
Washington should be interesting for him. You could give him Hagelin and be like, retain half. I should be able to squeeze this under my cap. I might not be able to roster 21 guys, but I can.
I mean,
I could
like
still have my
the
starting
Caps.
lineup. So.
That's a third line team again, though.
Yeah,
He's playing
play
third pair.
second.
Oh, like Ferraveri and Orlov are better.
Yeah, but they
too.
actually like play their players.
That's
they don't
true.
usually, unless it's Kempney or something like that, they'll only play him a real small amount. But they actually play their defense.
I don't think we played Michael Kempney much.
No,
because like Nick Jensen's a third line D man technically when Schultz is healthy. So, but he still gets quite a bit of playing time for being a third line. But yeah, I'm starting to think about like all the other places because it seems like it fits Gio more than just going to Calgary or
absolutely
Toronto or something like that. You know.
No, there's probably better fits out there, but for me, like with the Muzzin injury, Toronto, that makes a lot of sense right now.
Good one.
I wonder if that would just be even just a play on your third pair with like Liljegren, have him with Liljegren. That wouldn't be bad. So I don't know.
Pretty epic.
Lots of options with it. What do you got anything else on Giordano with it, or just the?
No, that was it. I mean, I think it'd probably be worth about 2 seconds, or at least a second and 2/3.
Something. Yeah, I don't.
Picks, right? Picks.
Yeah, obviously, if I'm Seattle, I want picks or prospects, but
picks are prospects, but picks are just the same.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Very interesting way.
I wonder how much Seattle will value prospects. I want to say I remember them looking to want more
prospects, but you get to scout more yourself, and you get more of your own judgment.
Yeah,
right? It's not like, okay, we're getting this guy who's good at all of this stuff, but we're stuck with him. It's like, okay, you choose between these 3 guys or whatever, and then go with whoever like on draft night.
Yeah, and it does look like they're going for the
because I would much rather
build draft
this draft upcoming. I would rather picks.
Yeah, I would rather picks from Arizona, or Seattle. Sorry.
The only reason I bring that up is because they have that Coachella Firebirds, man. Got a fucking roster that team, boys.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll get into mine now. I'm gonna go hit Nashville, the Predators.
Nashville.
Nice. So depth scoring.
I don't think we've talked too much about actual in-depth trading for these guys, but I'm looking for basically my big need for this team is a middle 6 forward. Just not like a second line or not picky or anything, just a middle 6 guy, the guy even that could be a third line guy. So
wing, center, what would you prefer?
Center
Anything?
or a right winger is kind of what I'm looking
center
at.
Or right winger?
Yeah. I've heard some news about Kunin possibly in the mix for trades because he's been a little underwhelming. That's just how she goes. So I wonder what they do with him. I'm kind of thinking they'll actually move on from him and maybe pick up one of these guys. So a Kessel in Arizona is a possibility. St. Louis, I've heard a little bit of touch. I don't know about it actually happening, but Oscar Sundquist is a name that has been kind of been waved out there.
Because of his money, he makes a lot.
Winnipeg, Stasny, Paul Stasny is another guy that could help for faceoffs because, and back on the Sundquist, he hasn't been as great on the dot this year. He's been playing a little bit more wing, but it is something he was good at last year. Like he was rolling like almost a 50% faceoff percentage, and he has played center before, so
even
it
if
might
you
be
could
an
float
option
him back
for
and
Nashville.
forth, yeah.
You know?
Even if like you got an injury to like Kunin or something like that, and or Duchesne, whatever, and you just need to slide him over to center,
yeah, because it's kind of like Granlund and Johansson, and then it's kind of like, well, are you putting Duchesne at center to push that down, or are you just putting Colton Sissons as your third line center? Because that's basically your only option. So they need help there. Some wingers that could help. Actually, I'll throw another centerman out that could help, and that's JT Compher. Not that he's a super centerman, but another guy that's a utility guy. I heard Colorado may look at him to open up some room, and because obviously he's just got term. He's got another year at this much. If he's not on their books and they can easily replace him, then they're probably feeling pretty all right.
Problem is the easy replacement,
just because of how he's not an easy guy to replace, but he's very up and down for them.
Yeah, I know.
And maybe they're just looking for a vet who's a little more consistent. I guess you can throw in your Calle Yarncroke and like Marcus Johansson as just nice little ad spots, but the two other wingers other than Kessel that I got is Jake DeBrusk and Alexander Radulov. Two guys, because just not going well with Radulov in Dallas.
No, and they could definitely would like that.
He's a UFA. Like they don't need him, even if they're trying to go for the playoffs. They can. I think that's the one guy they need to offload to make something happen there.
I think that could help them more than anything. Just
exactly.
Cap space, right? Even if you 50% retain that as Dallas, I think $3 million or whatever is efficient.
I'll probably be
Dallas can definitely use that money right now.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing a Dallas
can't afford
armchair here, so we can kind of get deep into that sort of stuff. But yeah, DeBrusk was the other one. Young, at least could stick around. Might be a good complement piece for some of these guys. In all reality, him and Forsberg doesn't, and Duchesne, those guys, they don't need too much with them. If they got somebody who's pretty smart, that might help. But that's for just the forwards. They're the unlikely move because they're pretty stacked at defense. Is something I kind of brought up before, is trading for an Adam Larson for like Philip Myers, doing a swap like that, getting that veteran presence. Good defensive guy that can handle a lot of that weight, along with their other Ekholm and who Carrier's been doing that quite a bit. So and then it also kind of frees up. I don't know how much I trust Myers, and I feel like you can get a little bit more out of Larson. So my favorite sort of scenario for the Predators is if they go all out and try to get an Adam Larson. I'd really like them to try to get Sundquist. Oscar Sundquist seems like a guy that could really help them. They need a right-handed guy, like whether he can play center for you. At least he can do face-offs right-handed, other than just Johansson. And Sissons
on the draw, right?
Yeah,
like he's comfortable on the draw and obviously on the wing.
Yeah, exactly. And he just helps that middle or that bottom six a lot because like Tomasino's been all right, Tolvanen's been all right, but you just need somebody a little bit more solid. And I think that's a route you can do.
Right.
And then it's kind of between Kessel or Radulov. I'm kind of leaning Radulov because I like
the Radulov move.
I like Radulov on the Preds. He used to play there way back in the day.
Yeah.
He's a little bit cheaper,
wasn't he?
Yeah. He played his first couple seasons with them, so maybe he's okay with going back. He's got a 15-team no trade, so I guess we'll see if his name. I don't Nashville would be on that list. I would think, but
Canadian teams and the teams that suck. Yeah, except for maybe the Leafs, but they won't matter.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, so he's got a big cap hit. Nashville has lots of money. Probably not going to cost too much. Like I said, the cost of this is going to be like a Kunin, who's got some decent value. So you're not going to have to pay up picks out the wazoo. You'll probably have to give up a first. Give up Myers, Kunin, and a first, and you get like a Radulov, Sundquist, and a Larson. Maybe some mid prospects.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
I think this is a great option for them because one, they have cap space. They could sign Radulov if things work well. He might be like the complement guy Forsberg could use. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know
But
with Radulov. It's a playoff return, but
yeah,
if you have the
yeah,
they have the money to spend. So
yeah,
if you
exactly.
want to keep him,
Same
And
with
Paul
Kessel.
would be huge in Nashville.
Yeah, exactly. And same with Kessel. Like same sort of things. He can play somewhere in their top six or middle six or something and help those guys out. So yeah, like I wonder what a Kessel, Sundquist, Tanner Jeannot line would look like or something like that.
that'd be interesting.
But yeah, no, lots of options. I think the Predators are pretty primed to make a pretty big move. Like I said, it's unlikely for them to go for a big D man, but like
I don't need it as much.
I don't think
but...
I don't think it's out of this world.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's some obvious guys you could throw in there that they might go and get. Maybe even more depth options we're thinking instead of like an Adam Larson on that defense. But yeah, no.
Well, they have like Benning, they have Carrier. They have
no,
Fabro,
exactly. That's
they
what
have
I'm saying.
Myers.
Like
So like they don't even need another right-handed guy. They could even shed Benning because like they've got the.
Well, I'm just
Carrier
thinking of a guy
so
like
good, so.
like Braun, who is a
Like
big
Hall.
older guy. Yeah, just
see like he doesn't push the needle enough for Nashville. Like why get him when you have a Benning or you're not even gonna play Benning. You got Fabro, you got Carrier, you got Myers. Like Myers, what's the difference between Myers and Braun? Why would you want Braun? You know.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know.
That's where I kind of stood like a Josh Manson or like one of those like actual big guys. I think I wonder like the fact you have Myers that might be enough to not be able to pay like a whole ransom for this D man because at least he's a replacement for that team's right-handed D man.
I don't know what his value is honestly. Myers, like I think every team is so different with his value. Like, it's so tough.
6'5" guy. So,
but yeah, exactly. But is he gonna be Branson or is he
gonna be Tyler Myers?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all for the depth adding. Obviously, the D man, like you said, I don't see it as much. If they
it's an unlikely.
If they go for a D man, they better be going damn near all in.
That should be the cherry on top of
that. Will be that's your cherry on top of a perfect deadline. If you get like a center and a winger and a backup if you want or whatever. I don't know how Rittich.
They'll definitely have to play a lot better to put themselves in a position where hey, maybe we should do that.
Yeah, to go all in like you did. Absolutely, they need to be playing like they did the first half of the year.
But yeah, like I said, with like a Kessel or Radulov, like that's not going to hurt your team too much. Go get somebody.
Like, I agree with that. I agree with the Radulov or Kessel. That one makes a lot of sense to me. Just go and get them. Like even if you win a round, like that's successful for Nashville in where they are now. If they can win a round, because I don't predict them winning a game pretty much, let alone more than a game or two.
Yeah, I'm unsure if they'll get there. Jeez, it's looking a little rough right now.
So. Is that all you got for your Nashville though? And trades and all that? Cool. Yeah, I know. Very interesting stuff. Geo, so forward depth, I guess everywhere depth on Nashville, and then selling a little bit of that Vancouver. Guess I'll jump into my Philly armchair GM though and close out the pod with this, This one was really, really tough. Obviously, because Philadelphia has no direction. So I tried
They're in limbo.
I tried to give him a direction a little bit. What I did was basically, we're bad this year, right? So I acted like we're bad this year, but they're not a bad team. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they just need some retooling, pretty major retooling like I did.
Well, you've got Carter Hart, right? And that alone makes you...
That is That is exact person that decided my direction of this team. I was ready to blow this team up and almost restart with anyone who was under the age of 26. Everyone older than that was going to be gone. Carter Hart, I can't do that anymore. He's already too solid. I think he could be good for a long time. I'm not going to like try and kill the team, but trying to be good next year, well, long term. So, with that being said, let's get into the trade deadline for Philly. early. We trade Claude Giroux, 50% retained, to Colorado, obviously, because this just made the most sense. They're so good; they could really use them. I get to send them to the West too, so that's
You
nice.
might as well hand them the cup when you trade them.
Exactly right. And in return, I get Ryan Murray, Tyson Jost, Justin Barron, and Shane Bowers. So I went pure prospects and players because, like I said, I still want to be good soon.
And then 2 good prospects.
2 solid prospects. Barron, a right-handed D-man who looks like he's going to be a good prospect. And Bowers looked like he was going to be pretty good, but he's at a very disrupted
his value has
development.
slipped a bit, but there's still a good chance he could be an NHL guy.
Absolutely. So that's why I want to kind of
Holy
snail him.
shit, that's fucking intense, dog.
It's intense,
like
but
it.
they got to sell up for him, man.
That's way too much.
I don't think so.
2 guys that they can move, and then obviously 2 prospects in order to win now.
Absolutely. And I mean,
that's way too much. You can't give them Barron and Bowers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Holy shit. And Yost.
Yep.
Wow.
It's a lot, but they're going for it, man.
Yeah, it's a deadline move. If you're paying for him on the deadline.
I'm hearing the reason this is high. I understand it seems high. I'm hearing rumblings of a lot of big teams out there. Florida's going all in, and they might get Giroux. I don't know why. There's a lot of teams in on Giroux. I think this is going to be a bidding war. Another note, I don't know if Giroux wants to leave. I genuinely don't know if he wants to leave anymore. He really, it seems like he does because he wants to win. But, man, he loves being a Flyer. He loves it. So
he's been there for how long? Like 13 plus years?
Yep, his whole career. So, and it's very special to him. So, that's why Giroux's a lot. If you want to take out Bowers, sure, I'll take out Bowers. If that makes it more fair, I'll do Barron, Jost, and Murray.
But yeah, that would be the minimum
I would. The main reason I'm getting Barron and Jost. Those 2 are untouchable. I'm getting those 2. And Murray's cap, obviously. So
yeah, no, I definitely see Barron in a Giroux trade for sure because that might be where Philly just says no, like we need. I want Barron or nothing.
That's where I sit.
Like,
that's where I sit right now. I say I don't want to pick. You can use your pick for something else. That's also another point to use too. They have they can still use picks to trade away. They didn't give a single pick to me. If they want to add more, they can.
Yep.
And if they want to add this to being a 3-way trade and retain $2 million more and whatever.
Yeah, you could work something.
Could do that.
No, I like it a lot.
So
I like it a lot.
Lots there. Next, this one I ummed and awed. I don't know. But whatever. I traded Martin Jones to Edmonton. And in return, I got Mikko Koskinen and a 4th. Now, I know they offered Martin Jones. They wanted Martin Jones for a 5th, Philly, and Edmonton said no. But I got a 4th because I'm taking all of Koskinen's contract, and they can add at the deadline if they want to.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that much to pay for a 4th to get a better goalie and
I think it's
$2.5 million off your cap. So I thought that was pretty even.
I like that. Makes sense, especially once you take the Koskinen money on.
Yeah, next one, I sent Ryan Murray to Detroit for a 4th-round pick. If that's too much, then anyone can have him for a 4th-round pick. I'm not trying to get rid of cap. I want to send him to a team where he can get his footing good, and I just don't want Murray to play, frankly. He was in the deal for cap. No other reason. I can afford to keep him, but if I can get a 4th-round pick out of just a random second pairing D-man, and I was thinking too in this, Detroit would trade Leddy for like a 2nd or like a 3rd, 2/3 or something like that. Get something back where you can replace him with Murray, and if you like him, you can keep him. So that's where I lean with this.
Murray's what, like 28?
Yeah, around there. And moving on to this one, I am gonna be really honest. Looking at it today, I don't like this trade. I think I definitely didn't give up enough for this because I don't know what Risto's value is. But I traded Risto. I have no idea what his value is. I traded him to the Rangers, and I gave him 50% Ristolainen and Derek Brassard for Kravtsov. Now that seems like a lot. But they gave up so much for Risto. It's $2.7 million, 6'5", 3rd pairing D-man's really good. They can still add. I know Kratzov's pretty good. If I have to add something, I'm cool with that, obviously. But
like a lot of that, I wonder if it's just simply you add a conditional pick on how far the Rangers go.
I'm cool
You
with
know,
that. I will
like if
add
the
it.
Rangers just don't go anywhere in the playoffs, then then it's this pick. You know,
Right.
and like if they actually go somewhere,
Yeah,
then
I'm
this
cool
would
with
be
that.
worth it. You know, because like that's not a. It's hard to
tough,
make
hey?
moves like that. You can't just give up like a prospect that could be like
I
15
know.
years of this career for like some guy for a couple months. Not that it doesn't happen. I'm not saying
No.
that it doesn't happen. It's just that it's hard to bite that bullet. You do get a little extra center depth, but it's only a fourth line center that you don't really need that much. It's just a depth guy in all reality because if there's anything that Rangers team has, it's a fourth line with Kevin Rooney and Ryan Reeves and stuff. It's more getting the middle six.
He's
working,
there just to Brassard's in this deal just for a sweet.
Yeah, but you want value. These teams need to look at these trades and be like,
I get that.
That's going to help for sure. But yeah, no. I think you'd have to put a conditional pick.
That's cool.
That would go back to like
literally something as simple as
go back to the Rangers.
A conditional second where if the Rangers go,
I can't do a second, unfortunately. I would do, but like the reason I can't do the second is because we literally bought Risto for 2 seconds that we don't have. So that's this trade. I'm totally cool with vetoing, but this is why I don't know what to trade Risto for. He has.
Yeah, his value's weird.
What's his value?
Yeah, you can't. You
got him for 2 seconds. You got him for 2 seconds. You got to get that back at someone. You got to get a second.
Or at least a second.
And that's not. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what to do with him. So that's one where I'm just willing.
I think there is nothing.
No,
I
agree. I think that's just a really, really hard position because he hasn't had a lot of time in Philly, and the time he's had in Philly, the Philly have sucked horribly bad.
Mm-hmm. And that's the issue is they're bad. He's only been on bad teams. I know Risto's not what we thought he could be. He's not a top pairing guy. I think Risto as a third pairing would be brilliant for a playoff team. I don't see how that could be bad.
6'5"
I would think so.
So I'm too. Even if you guys want to swap Kratzov for picks, like picks that make it worth it, I'm cool with that. I just want Risto gone. I put Kratzov because they're willing
to move up because they want to move on.
Right, and then the Rangers, like I said, I'm going on the theme of the teams I'm trading with are teams that are going all in where they can add a lot. They're adding a lot where I'm trying to take players that they can still have assets to trade away that they're not upset to trade away. So I'm trying to make
I like that.
Right, like how Philly got Ellis. They traded Nolan Patrick away to get Ellis in there, right? I know Ellis has term, but I think he can sign. Yeah, it's just I don't know what to do with Risto. I really don't.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Final trade on the deadline. I traded Justin Braun to Florida for a 4th round pick because I'll take a 4th round pick for Justin Braun. Why not?
Are you retaining him 50%?
I can't. I have too much there. But I'm sure they can squeeze in 8.8.
Who did you?
Florida. It can be any team though. Like it's a 4th round pick. It's two. Yeah, it's so I'm really not worried. I threw Florida.
I'm just saying that, Mike. Honestly, I think you might have to retain Braun 50% for most of the teams that you'll have to trade him to. But that all depends, like you said.
I don't
where their cap situation is.
I think
it is only like one.
It's 1 year.
For him.
It's a playoff player. He's your 6th, 7th, 8th D man.
A team that needs a good defender would definitely pay a 4th to contend.
Yeah, you can if you really.
Yeah, I'm not paying a 4th to take him at 1.8, and I have to like trade somebody else or like only
you wouldn't
have
trade a 4th
have
for...
no extra players or something like that.
Would.
Like I want him retained 100%. I'm not taking him unless he's fully retained.
He's up next year, so I got no issues with cap. No issues with that for me. And like I said, it's any team. I like so. Mm-hmm. Whoever, if they got, they could be Nashville and they have 30 million. So,
yeah,
yeah. I just want to get a piece for him because I think he will. I genuinely wonder if he'll go for more than that at the deadline. He's a veteran piece. He's defensively minded. He's sound in his own end on a good team. I don't know what playoff team doesn't want that.
It just seems if it'll be
like
there's a bit more, right? If there's a bunch of teams that want him, then he'll go for a more. But if there's only a few, then they might just take the one that they think will be the best value.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I just got 4th round. I wasn't getting too crazy with him. So, But yeah, that's my deadline. Deadline's done. Team's pretty
I like that.
Pretty bad, but that's okay. They're supposed to be bad. But moving into this offseason, I also went with their owner wants to spend money. So I went with that. I'm spending money, but I'm trying to spend it smarter. So we're a cap team. We're at the cap max this year.
Mm-hmm.
Made a lot of moves. But let's start with the trades at the draft. As this is one, again, I just love the make of this trade. I think it's fair, but let me know. I trading to the New York Islanders Cam Atkinson and Ryan Ellis.
Oh my God.
For Richard Panik, Josh Bailey, and their first round pick in 2022. Now, that first round pick is 9th overall.
Okay, so 9th, Bailey,
and Panik. So it's pretty much cap coming out because Bailey's
all
right. Yep. Cam Atkinson's well more value than that because he can score 20 goals. Yeah. Islanders need goals. Ryan Ellis, I know he hasn't played, but
we know
what Ryan Ellis is a player. Let's not pretend that just because he hasn't played a little bit this year that he's a bad player.
He's still a top D man, like at least.
Yeah, so I just want a first round pick for Ellis and Atkinson, and I take on 2 contracts. Islanders can afford it because Clutterbuck's off the books next year. I don't think Dobson's going to get paid ransom at all. I think he'll get maybe $2 million if he's lucky, unless he signs a long-term deal. So,
I like it because you move on from Panik, which at this point is negative value because he just makes too much.
Yeah, he makes 1.7 and he's buried. So I will pretty much have to bury him or play him on the 4th line. I got Josh Bailey and basically replacing Cam Atkinson replacing Bailey. So
I like it. You move on from the age and you get at least a pick.
Yeah.
And then
I looked at this deal as the Arizona Vancouver deal last draft. I thought the Islanders were the most likely team that want to be good again next year, that have a higher pick, that missed playoffs this year. So I feel like they're comfortable moving it away if they get term for a top 6 forward and a top 4 D-man. I know they're older, but so is the Islanders. That's my thought process.
Yeah, so the Islanders. The Islanders aren't in a position where they're not as old.
Yeah, so
not older. The Islanders are old.
They are pretty old. So what do you guys think of that one?
I really like that.
Okay, cool. I thought so too.
I really like it because you basically the players, you move on from the age, you get Bailey back, which is good. Bailey's
he's an NHL top middle 6 player at least.
Plus you get a top 10 pick, which for me is the maker.
Yes, and that's just
like
it, right? Like
Bailey's, right? You get an NHL player and you get direction.
Yeah, and that's just it. I just want more futures than I.
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering if the Islanders will keep that pick or not, because it might be a good chip to just get a player that they actually need.
And that's exactly where I thought about. They lost Everly, Cam Atkinson, boom, replaced. They lose Letty. I know Ryan Ellis isn't a puck mover, but to have Pulock and Ellis as your 2 right-handed D-men, and maybe Mayfield if you keep him, wow.
Wicked.
That's great right side. You just need to work on a puck-moving left-handed D, which go get Ryan Murray for $1 million off at the offseason if you really want him. Like, I'm sure you can find a puck-moving D-man for cheap to play on that left side. Moving on to... I got one more trade. This one was not at the draft, but I trade... This one, again, I don't know. Maybe I gave up a little too much for this, but that's okay. I traded with Seattle and stealing a little bit of what Chase was saying. I want the Adam Larson. I want the Adam Larson that Jeremy Liaison for Tyson Jost and Jay O'Brien. Jost, obviously an NHL player who's good. 25 could be a second line. He'd get an opportunity as a second line center for Seattle, probably, right?
Seattle. At
least second, third line. And Jay O'Brien is a first-round pick from 2018, I think, 19, something like that. He's around there. He's or either that or early second, either late first or early second. But he's a really, really good skater, Jay O'Brien. Incredible skater. A lot of people think he's going to be an NHLer and has the sneaky upside to score lots, but it's not obviously certainty. So, I just want a top right pairing D-man for Adam Larson, Liaison for Jost O'Brien.
I like it. I just don't know if maybe you need a little more to pay. Like, my worry is that that's 2 of their lefty, right? And
right,
not really
one right, one lefty, and they have 8 defensemen that are NHL caliber. So that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I can add a pick obviously for like the liaison
free
of it.
They could replace them in free agency, so I like it.
And yeah, they get young players. That's why I was going for Seattle. They don't need these players
Seattle
now.
just
They're
wants
not good. They're not good.
They're not
Get rid of some of your vets. Get some young guys in there who can play, have value. Like I said though, if you need a pick in there,
So you have Larson going to Philly, and
Yes.
what other D-man?
Liaison.
Oh yeah, right, Liaison, and you're sending them just a bunch of prospects. Is what you're saying?
Jostin O'Brien, 2 first-round pick prospects, formerly first-round picks.
Yeah, I
that
like it.
like that. You also gotta think too. Like that's what Vegas was good at with, too. When they got their new team, you take chances on some of these guys. Jost is a player.
You'd have to give up. I think you'd have to give up a little bit more. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think a throw in a
Yeah.
pick.
Because like Larson's worth a decent amount, I would think, for where he's at right
I
now.
think you guys are also very underutilizing Jay O'Brien's value. He is a lot better than you. I didn't know as much about this guy until past like 2 weeks. I've been reading and looking up on him. He looks really good, man. He does look really fucking good.
Yeah, I can certainly say I don't know a ton about him, so I can definitely say I might not know his value too accurately, but in my mind,
no, I'm not saying I do.
Tackle on like a 4th, and I think you'd be done.
Funny enough, originally I put on a 4th, so
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
Fine
yeah,
with that,
that's literally
whatever.
all I would add. Is
If it's literally that minuscule, who gives a fuck? Honestly,
that's what it is to me. So
that's cool. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I really like it.
And then finally, I got just my contracts. That's all the trades I made. I think just want to make sure I made. Yeah, that's all my trades. I just got my contracts here. A lot of RFA signings, so I'm just gonna write for them. They're all between 950K and 800K. So I got Wade Allison, Morgan Frost, Isaac Radcliffe, Rubison, Matthew Strome, Shane Bowers, but I guess if I didn't trade for him, Liaison and Kratzov, obviously. But if I don't make those deals, then those don't get signed, which is cool. But obviously, you guys want to know about the UFAs, and I went for it, and I signed Nelson Kadri to a 3-year, $7.5 million deal. I wanted to pay him the cap.
That's it.
I didn't want
all
the
you
term.
gave him was 7.5.
7.5?
3 years.
I don't
years.
know, man. That's pretty.
Jeez
I'll give him
Louise.
8.
Yeah, I would do
8 for 3.
He's
Sure.
literally filling McKinnon's shoes. Come on now.
They can't afford him. Who's?
I think he would take.
Unless he's signing a less cap hit deal for like 6
years.
Yeah, or he's signing like a 6 mil at like 8 years or 7 years.
Or something.
I don't see it.
Yeah, no, I like 8 at 3.
8 at 3. Sure. I don't want him forever. I'm not signing him for a long time. So sure, I'll take 8 mil, 3 years. I just want him as some center depth.
I think he would take.
No doubt.
And funny you mentioned that. He's literally replacing McKinnon. Good, because he's gonna need to replace my centers because they're always fucking hurt. So that's why I got him. That's the biggest reason. Next guy, I signed Braden Holtby to a 1-year, 1.5 to be my backup.
Yep.
Next one, I signed Josh Brown, an Ottawa right-hand D, a 2-year, $1.7 million deal. He's playing like second, third line minutes. He's a good defensive defenseman. I mean, saying that being in Ottawa.
Yeah,
I wonder if
pay the 2 mil, and then I think that.
Yeah, I'm trying to steal him from Ottawa a little bit, and I wonder if he could be like a sneaky. I'm giving him a chance, basically. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to give him a chance. My second pair. If not, can slide down a little bit, and that's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
And then I signed Dean Kukin to a 2-year, 2.2, and then Jay Beagle at 1.1 at 1 year. So
the old Beegs.
Yeah, got the old Beegs. My right-handed fourth line center.
Contract in this. I think a team will probably pay him like 2 mil.
I think 2 mil. Oh, that'd be a mistake the first time. Just as bad as the first contract.
I think a team will pay him 2 mil.
I hope not. I'm only paying him a mil. If they want if he wants 2 mil, he can go fuck himself.
Yeah,
I'm not signing him for that.
A mil, I think it's perfect. I do think a team will pay 2 mil.
Reasoning, I got Beagle, by the way. Like if he wants that much, I'll take any right-handed center who can penalty kill. Honestly,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be surprised if a team doesn't, because I think that could be his value. But no,
Yeah.
if you can pick him up for $1 million, wow, that'd
Yeah.
be perfect.
Exactly. So, our team looking like first line: Sean Couturier, Travis Konechny, JVR. Pretty much what they play most of the time.
Yeah.
Second line: Oscar Lindblom, Nazem Kadri, Joel Farabee. Lindblom, I want to give a chance in the top 6 because I want to see him if he can do more.
Everybody
if not,
wants to see him
right?
succeed.
So we'll see. Third line. Okay, this third line, by the way, is fucking ridiculous. Scott Lawton on the left wing, Kevin Hayes down the middle, and Josh Bailey on the right.
Oh my lord.
That's a perfect third line. And then
that's basically a second line.
Yeah, and then my fourth line is a culmination of all those RFAs I signed of put whoever you want. Beagle, Morgan Frost, Wade Allison, Radcliffe, those type of guys, all in the mix. Just to be down there. So that's my forward group. Defense, it's definitely probably a downgrade, but whatever. We got a bit of Provorov and Adam Larson, Sanheim, Dean Kukin, Cam York, and Josh Brown, and then Liaison's my extra guy. He'll probably play minutes over.
And Larson would be one hell of a shutdown pair, though.
Yeah, I know, and that's where I went.
Right.
Like, I wanted a cheaper defense. I want to be more defense, and that's where I went. And then obviously Holtby and net. Now, I haven't even got to the most interesting part of this team, because I am also firing a guy named Mike Yeo, and he's not coming back. It's my coach. Now, I'm going to throw out a couple names.
Good idea.
I threw 4 names out there who I interviewed, I guess. Number 1, Lane Lambert, I put. He is an assistant coach in the Long Island for the New York Islanders. He was supposed to probably be an NHL coach this year, head coach. At least Barry Trotz thought so, but he's his heir. He looks like the real deal, next up and coming. There's an option. Second, I had Rick Tocchet in the mix. I know he's on TNT, obviously, as an analyst, but I liked what he did in Arizona for how bad of a team they were. I like him as a coach. I think he can get us to be more grindy, and he seems to fit Philly, might fit Philly well. Next, Claude Julien. This is one I ummed and awed about, and he was in my second choice to be picked. I didn't end up picking him. He was so good, and he was on the Bruins when they were the big bad Bruins in the 2010s.
Yep.
I wanted to replicate that a little bit if I got him, and that's where I leaned. I didn't end up going with him because of an interview I heard with Nathan Gerbe, the smallest player in the NHL history, pretty much. I take John Tortorella. And the reasoning I do this, what do we complain about Philly the most? That they don't work enough. Well, Gerbe said that Tortorella is his favorite coach of all time, and he said, all you have to do is work. If you try hard, he will love you. That's what I want. I want a culture change in Philly. I'm signing John Tortorella to change how this team plays. I want them to, I want the mindset change, and I want the culture completely shifted. So Torts is my guy because I think he can create the quickest, most structured
quickest turnaround while still...
Yeah, I think he can make a nice culture in the team. I think he really can for what he can.
Build a culture while at the same time being good.
Absolutely. So
I like that.
There's my coach, and then obviously my draft picks to close off with. We finished with the 5th overall pick and the 9th overall, 9th being the Islanders, obviously. 5th overall, I take David Jurček, a right-handed defenseman from Slovakia. And then on forward, I take Jurja Slavkovsky as my other forward. So
Slavkovsky, that's
big,
a nice couple.
The smallest player of the two is Slavkovsky at 6'4". So very nice. I went bigger. I wanted to be bigger with Philly.
A lot of big boys in this draft.
A lot more bigger boys. I tried to keep us competitive and a skilled team still, while being more defensively responsible. I like our right side a hell of a lot more than I did the year before with Larson, Kukin, and Joan and Brown. So that's my team. Obviously, there's some ums and ahs with some of the trades there, but try to be, like I said, try to be competitive while getting futures at the same time.
Yeah, going after the old Kadri.
What's that, third? Yeah.
No, I just said I like it. You give yourself direction, but you don't completely blow it up, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're still a good team. Like, I'm playing Lawton on the third line with Hayes and Bailey. Like,
Yeah,
don't
like
be
they're in a
sad.
situation where I think you kind of have to sell and then
Sell
buy.
and buy, right? Yeah, and
You
that's
know,
where I kind of went with it.
Like you did.
because if you
Um,
don't do anything, then Giroux just might walk away, or some of these guys just might walk away, or you
Yep.
just sign them and then you're just the same team
Yep.
possibly, and hopefully things change. Like same with the Islanders. The Islanders are in the same position, right? Like
Yeah,
they
they
could
are.
just do nothing. They could.
And that's
Flyers
what.
could just do nothing, I guess, and just sign these guys and
And I
see
think
what
that's a
happens.
mistake. And I think you gotta be a little aggressive and making just the right move. You just gotta get assets back. Like, that was the thing with the trade deadline. I may have like got a little much for some of the guys here and there, and maybe I overvalue some guys, but I'm not far off, and they need to get something. I'm not far off at all. So, no, like I said, just wanted this team to be good next year, and they said they're gonna spend money, so I spent some money. Now, that's my team. Before we close out the podcast, I threw out a couple trades. I couldn't bring myself to make them because I was like, that's not valuable, but I didn't know because obviously it involves Ristolainen, all of them. I have 3 trades involving Ristolainen. I struggled fucking hard with him, right? That's just... Here's the first one. Now, this one I came up with this morning, so it's very bad. I trading just a culmination of Ristolainen 50% retained and getting Jeff Petrie back. Now, I like it for Philly side of getting Petrie. I don't know what you'd have to add, and obviously I assume Montreal would sign Risto to like a $4 million or something for
you'd probably have
years.
to add like a good second.
Obviously, you'd probably have to add stuff. Like, I literally made this 10 minutes before you guys joined, so I was just I like Petrie in a Philly jersey. I thought that was a con. That would be very interesting. So
I would like that, especially with Torts. Oh,
yep. I had one trade that I thought was perfect, but I had to change because Dubas is an asshole, and he already traded Richie. So this was the trade I had. I traded Risto 50% retained, Braun and Broussard to Toronto for Justin Hull, Nick Ritchie, and I threw their first in 2023, top 5 protected. But
yeah, I like it. Basically, you're taking their dead cap and giving them actual players.
And Risto is $700K more than Hall playing on the third pair. I think that's a better replacement for sure. Yeah, and you get the Richie. I thought this was so fair at the time when I was like, "Oh, I'm a genius," and then he traded for Babushkin. So I guess I'm not. But yeah, that was the one I was like dead set, and it kind of ruined a lot of my team, if I'm being honest, because I had to change a lot in a big span. Because I had Hall going to the Islanders, I had Richie going. I had so many other small trades. I just couldn't do it now. Sucked. So. And then my last one. This is the one I was most intrigued about, and I wanted to talk to you guys about to close the podcast. I offered Vancouver Ristolainen 50% retained for Tyler Myers, Jet Wu, and Tyler Mott. Now I'm getting 2 good pieces, but you're shedding Myers.
Say that again.
Risto 50% for Myers, Mott, and Jet Wu. Seems like a lot, but you're getting rid of $6 million for a couple of years.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot.
It's interesting, though.
Risto's,
honestly, if I was Vancouver, I would take this in a heartbeat.
I wondered that too. I read a bit.
Moving that Myers contract is worth Mott and Wu to me.
And that's where I thought, like, I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to give it too much. I like what Jet Wu is doing in Abbotsford right now.
If I'm not signing Risto, if I'm not signing him right away, then no way I'm doing that.
No way you're doing that. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know if that's a no way for me because of this. You're getting Myers off your deal for 2 years
there's
after
gotta
this
be
year.
There's got to be a better trade for Myers.
Interesting.
For a bad 7th D man.
Yeah.
I'd trade Myers for Strawman and fucking Louis Erickson back or some shit this year.
If I'm Arizona, I wouldn't make that trade ever. But you also got to think, Myers has negative value. Based on what he is for his term, you can't win a cup with that.
No.
You can't. The reason I thought about bringing this in is because I was like, well, if I can
They
get
should
some
they
decent
should
pieces,
trade
but
they should trade one of those big guys, one of the three that we were talking about in
Yep.
Garland, Bozer, what's his face, Miller.
Miller.
And then they should go to Arizona and do what I'm talking about. Trade like a Strawman for Myers.
Never
and
would
like
do that.
take on
Arizona.
and then
Yeah,
take
never.
on like
No.
take on Andrew Ladd.
No, but
My
you
3 years
still don't
time
realize
to
that's $6 million
Arizona.
for 2 years, and like that's so much fucking money. And
Yeah, but
Arizona
like you're
doesn't pay
taking
money.
on Ladd. Yeah, but like you're taking
Ladd's
on
up
Andrew Ladd.
after.
No, he's
Ladd will-
up
yeah,
next
Ladd
year.
will either retire or he's done.
Ladd's next year. He's got
I
next
I
year's
don't do that.
contract
Yeah.
on that.
That's not valuable
And,
enough
like,
for either to
That
me.
Myers
Well,
contract
obviously you gotta like
really
sweeten
bad
things
value.
up and make it work. I'm not telling you exactly what a trade would be, but like the idea would be to get Myers off and take on some ugly contracts from Arizona, and then it means really like Zona might even save money or some shit or whatever. Not that they're worried about money. They need to play somebody, right?
Yeah,
Depends
but
what
they
do
also
with
don't
their-
like spending real in-house money. It's not the cap money that worries them. It's the actual dollar amount money, right? They've always been this way. I know
Yeah.
they will take cap.
They'd
I
save
understand
money
that.
doing. They technically save money technically, right? Because like
Yeah,
like they would have to spend an extra whatever that last year would be on Myers, but you would save a little bit this year, and then you would have basically the same amount Ladd instead of Myers next year.
yeah. I'm just thinking because of the
I'm just trying to figure out a way to
definitely
get rid of Myers instead of like just giving up so much crap. Like there's got to be a team like Zona that you can like swap some shit with. Like
I don't
if
think
you're
it can-
kind of
I think-
retooling as Vancouver, why not take a contract that's a year or two long, like a Lucic or something like that? Well, it's like, what does it matter? You're kind of re-screwing around anyways. You know, like it is literally like it'll be this year, and then next year you'll have this contract on there, and it'll constrain you a little bit, but you'll be able to make moves and maybe actually go have a much better team the next year. Like I'm just saying this because I don't want them to pay up, and I don't think they will pay up just to shed Tyler Myers.
Yeah, I don't
And then-
think he's moving. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't like that either.
honestly.
Still
I don't
hard.
think this trade. I don't think happens because you can't.
Yeah,
like, look at
because
us. We're
literally
arguing.
moving Tyler
Imagine,
Myers is-
imagine how the front office is arguing about this
There's
with
a-
each other.
yeah.
Like, if we are about fucking
Mhm.
Myers trying to get
Like,
him
and
out.
that's the
to be
thing,
guy that
like-
pays them.
And that's the thing. They might be in a position where they know that like nobody is taking Myers in like a sort of situation that I'm talking about. Like it is literally everybody said,
That's
Right.
the
"You're
conversation
paying me
they
to take him,"
genuinely
and that's
had.
it.
Yeah,
know,
and that's the issue, right? And that's why I tried to go with it. Like
But
Flyers,
like Myers isn't in a Ladd situation, in a Louis Erickson situation where like
No.
he's almost not playable. You know, like he's an NHL player. He's just got a pretty big cap hit. Like, let's be serious. Myers at $4 million, we probably wouldn't feel that terrible about it. People wouldn't be that
I
scared to trade about it. You know,
I,
it would
I
be
would still dislike
a lot
it,
more
but yeah,
easier to deal with.
I would take
absolutely.
Myers at 2.5, and that's the max I'd want him to be my like 7th D man. The
Yeah.
mistakes
No,
Myers
no.
makes-
What kills me with him is his age.
So you're
too.
like, you don't even think he's an NHL guy then? Like, it's
Like,
like saying he's like a 7th D
Myers
man. Like, that's pretty
physically-
rough for the guy.
Myers physically is absolutely an NHL guy. He lands massive hits. The problem is Myers makes mistakes that an NHL caliber defenseman cannot make.
Yeah, he's
Myers
he is
alone
slow.
lets goals in.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I
well,
agree
there's
with you
guys
in
like
that aspect. Like without his size, he's probably not a everyday NHL.
Right? Without his size and ability to like crunch you, Myers doesn't make the NHL.
I wonder. Hey, I know he's. I'm not saying he's great or anything, but
No, and I know
I
you're
don't know.
not. Obviously, it's
Yeah,
that's
but you're
all.
saying he's at least NHL
he
quality.
should be. Like,
He's
I
NHL. I
think
would
so.
say he's
You gotta
NHL
think
quality.
about how
Nobody
good he
gets a
is on
$6
the
million
worst teams.
Nobody gets a
Yeah,
$6
you don't
million
get paid $6
contract by
million.
accident. You're obviously an
Yeah, but-
NHL caliber player. I don't want to make it seem like we hate Tyler Myers. It's just it's the cap hit. Vancouver can't afford the cap hit, and if you're just being
Yeah, but they
realistic, if
can't
you
keep
want it
giving
out.
up prospects and shit like this too.
No,
So,
I
like,
get
give-
that.
Is the answer
Pay
giving up
Tyler
prospects?
Myers half of what he makes, and I
Tough.
wouldn't complain one bit. I'd be like, okay, it's overpriced,
Yeah,
but I'm
3
not
mils decent.
complaining.
I'd be.
Yeah.
right. It's like, okay, it's an expensive bottom pair guy, but teams have that. That happens. Bad contracts get given out, whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah,
6
no.
mil, like you said, is literally what you'd pay a star. That's the problem. And Tyler Myers is
Yeah.
not a star.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. There's Like Morgan Riley made less than him in his entire career until this past offseason. Like, and he still isn't currently technically. Like, it doesn't kick in until next year. Like, that's wrong. That players like that are being paid less than Myers, but yeah, it's just I know what you're saying, Chase. I 100% understand. I don't like giving up assets.
There has to be another option, and if there isn't, then you wait until his last year when that option is not terrible.
In my mind, there is no option unless you sweeten the deal being Vancouver, unless you're getting a contract that's worse. Like, you could do that element if you want to like double down and get someone who's got 3 years left at the same cap hit and take a sweetener.
If I was Vancouver and I was calling Arizona and they were telling me that Myers is worth nothing to them, I'd call the league and be like, these guys are fucking tanking. Like, they're purposely doing this. This is fucking horseshit. This is complete garbage. They're not even trying to field a real team.
Fair.
This is actually illegal, technically. I don't care if it would go anywhere, but that's what I would be doing. If I'm calling them and they're just like not making any move, like acting like Myers would be absolutely worth nothing, pay me to take them and stuff like that, even if I was trying to take some contracts on, I'd be going straight to the league and being like, these guys are just the worst, man. They're not even trying to have a team. Like, what do you mean?
If you tried to offer me Tyler Myers without considering him negative value, I would laugh in your face.
Yeah, I agree with Jordan on that part. So that's where I don't think they're
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And
like I said, I'll take contracts back.
Take on another bad.
Like, contract. I'm not saying you just give. Why aren't you paying me? Why aren't you paying me for Myers? Like, I'll take the same type of money back. Fuck, I'll take more money back because I'm gonna trade JT Miller or something like that. Like, I'll take Andrew Ladd. Do you really want Andrew fucking Ladd on your fucking team next year? Like, they probably do.
Actually,
like, fuck you. You can't just fucking be like, oh yeah, well, we're guaranteeingly going to tank. Like, it's like things that you can get fucking fined and shit for in the NFL. Like, you're
I may have a hole.
Just trying to lose, man.
I may have a hole in your theory. I just need to check.
I don't care.
With the Andrew Ladd, I think if he plays next year, they get a pick. Even if he plays one game for Arizona, I think they get a pick.
Yeah, they got like a condition on him.
They got a condition, and they get a 3rd round pick for no return. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works there. I'm
pretty sure, like, if he plays, they don't get a pick or something like that.
Yeah, something like
it's something stupid and dumb. But
so I don't know what the condition is. I was just curious because there's 2 conditions on it. So
yeah, it's a weird trade.
It was a very weird trade. That's why I just wanted to ask that question because it's a real thing. They have conditions on Andrew Ladd, so it'd be very hard to move him and deal with those.
Yeah, properly. Maybe you can you'd still be able to move him because it's like if he plays, like, it doesn't.
Is it if he plays, period, or is it if he plays for Arizona or the team? Like, if he plays and you trade him to Vancouver, like you're saying, Chase, let's say, do they get the pick? Arizona? Does Arizona still get the conditional pick? Because they trade for Ladd and he played, not for the Coyotes, but he played in the NHL. So. I'm
sure they have to like clear that thing.
Yeah, like, it's just.
I don't know how that works.
If he plays in any professional games in 2022, 2023, while under his current contract, or
as long
he
as
retires before the pick is not transferred.
Okay.
So if he plays at all next year, doesn't matter what team he's on, or if he. Or he retires, Arizona gets no pick. So.
Yeah, no.
So if they trade him, he might not play any professional games the next year or something, and maybe they get the pick. I don't fucking know.
Because a lot of organizations aren't going to play Andrew Ladd.
No. Yeah,
and Arizona and Vancouver might be one of them. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to do.
They got to find somewhere to. I think a good idea is to take on cap. If Myers is that impossible to get rid of, and you can at least free yourself of that cap hit a year sooner by taking on like a Ladd and whoever else they don't want or whatever that costs too much. I don't see why you wouldn't do it, because then at least you have them off the books the last year and you don't pay out whatever you got to pay out. Maybe
I get the Vancouver side. Like, I would, I'd sell my left nut to get Myers out if I'm a Vancouver GM, but like, that's the problem is if I'm 31 other teams in the league, I'm laughing at you for offering Myers is the issue. And I'm even Unless you're throwing in a prospect, a pick, or something, and I think Vancouver's stuck with it. I do. Until that last year of the deal. On the last year of the deal, he'll be able to be traded away for $3 million. Some team will take a 34-year-old, 35-year-old Myers.
Well, let's be serious. You could fucking that guy got fired. Like maybe this is why he got fired, because literally this is another contract nobody in the league will take.
And that's and that's just it. Like he had
just
3
like
before
Erickson.
that, just like Jay Beagle, just like Roussel. Like I wonder if instead of arguing what Myers' value is, if we say Benning just royally fucked this team.
Exactly. Like, did we just waste our time talking about this? Because Myers is technically like nobody will take him at all. Like nobody will. I
wonder that. It's a discussion though, because he's playing top 6 minutes.
I feel so bad for him if that's the case. Because I don't feel that way about Tyler Myers. That's tough on a guy.
I feel for him, like, in not performing to your contracts. Like, I don't want to see a player not perform to his contract. I want him to overperform. I want to see what they're doing. Cadre. I want to see that, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. I want to see his players get a lot of money, and I don't fault him for signing a $6 million contract. If someone offered me anything around that, I'm signing it. Absolutely. I do not blame Myers one bit. I blame Benning for offering. It's the GM's fault for offering. Never blame the players for taking more money. Yeah, that's like saying, I'm going to hire you. You have a choice. To be my friend, I'll hire you $20 an hour. But if we're not friends, you can get $40 an hour. Do you want to be friends? Fuck no, I'm working. Give me $40 an hour. I want $40 an hour because I am doing my job. I could be home watching hockey, for my example. Or something. No, I'm working. I'm doing my job. I understand they love hockey. They're going to take the more money. It's Benning's fault.
Yeah, it's Benning's fault.
But it was an interesting conversation to bring up because I thought that trade was interesting. It was a Mott's, an NHL player. Wu is he going to be a legit prospect or not? He's progressing well, but you never know.
No, you got to be able to fucking trade Myers without giving up so much shit, man. Like, the guy plays 22 minutes this year, plus 10, 11 assists. Like, he's worth something. Like, God, it's got to be, right? I don't know if you have to go that far and give up your own prospects and your own value just to get it. You might have to take on a contract that
teams are strong on cap.
Unless it's a team that's going to have cap space and be decent for the next 3 years.
Well, you're not trading fucking Myers to a good team. Like, he's gonna be like, if he gets traded,
that's what I'm saying. As that team, if I'm gonna buy Myers, then he better be useful for me. Like, I'm not, and if he's not gonna be useful, I better damn get a sweetener. So it's that. So I think I think they're stuck. I think we can just end it at they're stuck with Myers and until maybe the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's all we got time for this week's podcast. Go follow us on our social medias on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We're gonna have all of our fun stuff all there. We're posting all of our fun everything. Really. Anyways, we'll catch you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Peace.